Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day. This is y'all shorty Rachel, and I want to welcome everybody to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. And if you know, when it comes to the podcast, we could talk about it all. No filters, one cut. We've been talking about damn, when it, we've been talking for the past couple lives about artificial intelligence. We watched the committee meetings first. We watched the interview with Sophia Stewart, and then we got right into the Senate hearing, and that's where we're going to jump right into. So hopefully we could finish the Senate meeting today, hop into that article that I want to read to y'all about the robots and much more that Letitia left me. So hey, it's Friday night. Hope everybody's having a blessed and humble morning. And let's hop into the topic. I want to remind all of y'all, it's an open panel. Y'all are more than welcome. There's no judging here. I'm just saying all this for anybody that is new to the channel, and I just want to update them. So thank you all for the support. Let's hop into it. Let's talk about it. Watch part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5 of my lives to understand today's live. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Make sure you're subbed up for future lives and future uploads, guys. So let's get started and let's react. I want to remind everybody, a shorty is reacting right along with y'all when it comes to the Senate meeting.
Since its start in 2010, Wheels for Wishes has...
They started me over again? Damn. Why y'all gonna start me over again? What was we in, like? All right.
4 factors that governments can focus. AI system develops strategies others introduced. While this revolution has the potential to enable tremendous progress and innovation.
Thank you for the opportunity to discuss the risks and oversight.
All right, so we're gonna start it right here. Guys, these eyes be taking forever. I will be breaking them up and putting them into their proper, tags and how can I say proper category, whatever, whichever way it goes. Like the Sophia Stewart interview is going to be by itself. The meetings are going to be by itself. I have a new page called Writers for Life brings it all, and these lives will be uploaded over there separately on its own, with its own topic. So I really appreciate everybody for helping the shorty get here, because I'm gonna be very honest with y'all. Without y'all, there's no y'all shorty, there's no Writers for Life podcast. So I want to thank all of y'all for helping the shorty make it this far.
Site of AI with you. Anthropic is a public.
Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about it. More than welcome.
In developing and publishing.
Y'all more than welcome to leave y'all comments on the chat. And y'all more than welcome at any time y'all feel like it. Let a shorty know and hop on a panel and let's talk about it. Let's speak with our chest.
Techniques to make AI systems safer and more controllable, and by deploying these safety techniques in state-of-the-art models. Research conducted by Anthropic includes constitutional AI, a method for training AI systems to behave according to an explicit set of principles, early work on red teaming or adversarial testing of AI systems to uncover bad behavior, and foundational work in AI interpretability, the science of trying to understand why AI systems behave the way they do. This month, after extensive testing, we were proud to launch our AI model, Claude 2, for US users. Claude 2 puts many of these safety improvements into practice. While we're the first to admit that our measures are still far from perfect, we believe they're an important step forward in a race to the top on safety. We hope we can inspire other researchers and companies to do even better. AI will help our country accelerate progress in medical research, education, and many other areas. As you said in your open remarks, the benefits are great. I would not have founded Anthropic if I did not believe AI's benefits could outweigh its risks. However, it is very critical that we address the risks. My written testimony covers 3 categories of risks: short-term risks that we face right now, such as bias, privacy, misinformation; medium-term risks related to misuse of AI systems as they become better at science and engineering tasks; and long-term risks related to whether models might threaten humanity as they become truly autonomous, which you also mentioned in your open testimony. In these short remarks, I want to focus on the medium-term risks, which present an alarming combination of imminence and severity. Specifically, Anthropic is concerned that AI could empower a much larger set of actors to misuse biology. Over the last 6 months, Anthropic, in collaboration with world-class biosecurity experts, has conducted an intensive study of the potential for AI to contribute to the misuse of biology. Today, certain steps in bioweapons production involve knowledge that can't be found on Google or in textbooks and requires a
Guys, I left a poll right there. I would love to hear y'all opinions. Will robots benefit mankind? Do y'all think that artificial intelligence will benefit mankind at any point? And if y'all believe that it will, can y'all leave in the comments, let us shorty know why y'all think that it will benefit. If y'all think it doesn't benefit, let us shorty know. Why do y'all think it won't benefit? Let's talk about it.
high level of specialized expertise, this being one of the things that currently keeps us safe from attacks. We found that today's AI tools can fill in some of these steps, albeit incompletely and unreliably. In other words, they are showing the first nascent signs of danger. However, a straightforward extrapolation of today's systems to those we expect to see in 2 to 3 years suggests a substantial risk that AI systems will be able to fill in all the missing pieces, enabling many more actors to carry out large-scale biological attacks. We believe this represents a grave threat to U.S. national security. We have instituted mitigations against these risks in our own deployed models, briefed a number of U.S. government officials, all of whom found the results disquieting, and are piloting a responsible disclosure process with other AI companies to share information on this and similar risks. However, private action is not enough. This risk and many others like it requires a systemic policy response. We recommend 3 broad classes of actions. First, the U.S. must secure the AI supply chain in order to maintain its lead while keeping these technologies out of the hands of bad actors. This supply chain runs from semiconductor manufacturing equipment to chips and even the security of AI models stored on the servers of companies like ours. Second, we recommend a testing and auditing regime for new and more powerful models. Similar to cars or airplanes, AI models of the near future will be powerful machines that possess great utility but can be lethal if designed incorrectly or misused. New AI models should have to pass a rigorous battery of safety.
Y'all heard what they said, right? Lethal. We said it on part 5. We said it on part 4. Like, a lot of people are very concerned about these AIs. Like, there's so many judges. There's a lot of people against this.
Safety tests before they can be released to the public at all, including tests by third parties and national security experts in government. Third, we should recognize that the science of testing and auditing for AI systems is in its infancy. It is not currently easy to detect all the bad behaviors an AI system is capable of without first broadly deploying it to users, which is what creates the risk. Thus, it is important to fund both measurement and research on measurement to ensure a testing and auditing regime is actually effective. Funding NIST and the National AI Research Resource are 2 examples of ways to ensure America leads here. The 3 directions above are synergistic. Responsible supply chain policies help give America enough breathing room to impose rigorous standards on our own companies without ceding our national lead to adversaries. And funding measurement, in turn, makes these rigorous standards meaningful. The balance between mitigating AI's risks and maximizing its benefits will be a difficult one, but I'm confident that our country can rise to the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Why don't we go to Ms. Bengio?
Chairman Blumenthal, Ranking Member Hawley, members of the Judiciary Committee, thank you for the invitation to speak today. The capabilities of AI systems have steadily increased over the last 2 decades, thanks to advances in deep learning that I and others introduced. While this revolution has the potential to enable tremendous progress and innovation, it also entails a wide range of risks, from immediate ones like discrimination to growing ones like disinformation, and even more concerning ones in the future like loss of control of superhuman AIs. Recently, I and many others have been surprised by the giant leap realized by systems like ChatGPT, to the point where it becomes difficult to discern whether one is interacting with another human or a machine. These advancements have led many top AI researchers, including myself, to revise our estimates of when human-level intelligence could be achieved. Previously thought to be decades or even centuries away, we now believe it could be within a few years or decades. The shorter time frame, say 5.
Why y'all lying? Y'all know it's here. It's been here. Y'all just exposing the truth little by little. I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want that straight. So listen, we're not dumb. We listen. We could put two and two together. We're not saying 2 plus 2, 2 and 2. We could put it together, y'all. Blessings, young Riaz. Blessings. Like, come on, man. Don't say it's coming soon. It's here. It's here. Y'all just trying to approve it.
5 years is really worrisome because we'll need more time to effectively mitigate the potentially significant threats to democracy, national security, and our collective future. As Sam Altman said here, if this technology goes wrong, it could go terribly wrong. These severe risks could arise either intentionally because of malicious actors using AI systems to achieve harmful goals, or unintentionally if an AI system develops strategies that are misaligned with our values and norms.
Shout out to the meal ticket because what's crazy, like he said on part 5. Young Riaz, if you're still in the chat, can you drop the meal tickets link for me, please? Drop your link for me so people can go check y'all out. But the meal ticket did say what happens if they go rogue, right? And right here, he's explaining it to us. And I'm about to rewind it back a couple seconds. Hopefully, I can do it because it's kind of hard on the laptop so that y'all can hear what he said. Like, imagine them going rogue. He said they could, people could use them for bad intentions, right? So when these robots go rogue, is it because somebody makes them go rogue? Have y'all seen the movie I, Robot? So if anybody catches the replay, right, can anybody, answer a shorty's question, right? If these robots go rogue, is it because a malfunction of the system, or is it because somebody tempered with the system and all that happens? So in reality, like, what is y'all real intentions with these AIs?
I would like to emphasize 4 factors that governments can focus on in their regulatory efforts to mitigate all AI harms and risks. First, access, limiting who has access to powerful AI systems, structuring the proper protocols, duties, oversight, and incentives for them to act safely. Second, alignment, ensuring that AI systems will act as intended in agreement with our values and norms. Third, raw intellectual power, which depends on the level of sophistication of the algorithms and the scale of computing resources and of data sets. And fourth, scope of actions, the potential for harm an AI system can affect indirectly, for example, through human actions, or directly, for example, through the internet. So looking at risks through the lens of each of these 4 factors, access, alignment, intellectual power, and scope of actions, is critical to designing appropriate government interventions. I firmly believe that urgent efforts, preferably in the coming months, are required in the following 3 areas. First, the coordination of highly agile national and international regulatory frameworks and liability incentives that bolster safety. This would require licenses for people and organizations with standardized duties to evaluate and mitigate potential harm, allow independent audits, and restrict AI systems with unacceptable levels of risk. Second, because the current methodologies are not demonstrably safe, significantly accelerate global research endeavors focused on AI safety, enabling the informed creation of essential regulations, protocols, safe AI methodologies, and governance structures. And third, research on countermeasures to protect society from potential rogue AIs, because no regulation is going to be perfect.
Yo, where is the meal ticket at? Where in the world is the meal ticket? I need some beats. if you catch this replay, yo, I need some beats. Like, can you put together some beats for me? Like, hit me up on my email. Like, let's talk about it. Listen. I need to link up and chat with you. Not link up, my bad. I need to chat with you. Link up is when you're gonna meet somebody in person. I need to chat with you. Like, I need some, I need some beats. I need some drops. Like, can you hook a shorty up? Like, let's talk about it real quick. All right, Mill Ticket. Like, yo, you right now, you is like Sophia Stewart. You saw into the future. Even though we seen all this in movies, they talk about it in movies. Yo, real shit. Mill Ticket said this shit right in the chat on part 5 of my live. I think it was this was what, 2 days ago that I did part 5. So listen, I want to give everybody, I want to thank everybody for, supporting the shorty. I'm hoping that we could, end this meeting today. We could watch this whole meeting today, and I could get started with the rest of the lives that I got set up. And we're going to end up doing a part 7 to this later on. So make sure that y'all subbed up, because I got a couple more videos. But we're going to pause the matrix for 1 second, and we're going to talk about real life topics starting on Sunday. So listen, like I said, let's talk about it. If anybody wants to give their opinions, their perspectives, y'all more than welcome. This is an open panel. And listen, I'm here for as long as I can be here. Like, it could be 2 hours, 3 hours. This is a 2-hour meeting. So we're only what?
Research in AI and international.
It won't let me see. Okay, we're only 29 minutes and 7 seconds into this meeting. So hopefully we can finish this 2-hour meeting. We started it on part 5. We watched a little bit. I did go back a little bit so that nobody misses nothing. I will be leaving the links to this on these videos as soon as I get a chance. So, if anybody wants to use them, react to them, y'all more than welcome. This is online. Y'all can search this on Google. It's public records. So let's get back on topic.
Security should be conducted with several highly secure and decentralized labs operating under multilateral oversight to mitigate an AI arms race. Given the significant potential for detrimental consequences, we must therefore allocate substantial additional resources to safeguard our future, at least as much as we are collectively, globally investing in increasing the capabilities of AI. I believe we have a moral responsibility to mobilize our greatest minds and make major investments in a bold and internationally coordinated effort to fully reap the economic and social benefits of AI while protecting society and our shared future against its potential perils. Thank you for your attention to this pressing matter. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Professor.
I don't know how many of y'all peeped it, those that have been watching these reactions with me on the committee meeting. It's like a lot of them were with the artificial intelligence. When it comes to the Senate hearing, a lot of them are against it. I'm starting to peep this.
Professor Russell.
Thank you, Chair Blumenthal and Ranking Member Hawley, and members of the subcommittee for the invitation to speak today and for your excellent work on this vital issue. AI, as we all know, is the study of how to make machines intelligent. Its stated goal is general purpose artificial intelligence, sometimes called AGI or artificial general intelligence, machines that match or exceed human capabilities in every relevant dimension. The last 80 years have seen a lot of progress towards that goal. For most of that time, we created systems whose internal operations we understood, drawing on centuries of work in mathematics, statistics, philosophy, and operations research. Over the last decade, that has changed. Beginning with vision and speech recognition, and now with language, the dominant approach has been end-to-end training of circuits with billions or trillions of adjustable parameters. The success of these systems is undeniable, but their internal principles of operation remain a mystery. This is particularly true for the large language models, or LLMs, such as ChatGPT. Many researchers now see AGI on the horizon. In my view, LLMs do not constitute AGI, but they are a piece of the puzzle. We're not sure what shape the piece is yet or how it fits into the puzzle, but the field is working hard on those questions and progress is rapid. If we succeed, the upside could be enormous. I've estimated a cash value of at least $14 quadrillion for this technology, a huge magnet in the future pulling us forward. On the other hand, Alan Turing, the founder of computer science, warned in 1951 that once AI outstrips our feeble powers, we should have to expect the machines to take control. We have pretty much completely ignored this warning. It's as if an alien civilization warned us by email of its impending arrival, and we replied, "Humanity is currently out of the office." Fortunately, humanity is now back in the office and has read the email from the aliens.
What? Hold up.
Of course, many of the risks from AI are well recognized already, including bias, disinformation, manipulation, and impacts on employment. I'm happy to discuss any of these.
He say the humans are back, like if we was taken over by some alien. Yo, wait, hold the fuck. I'm so sorry. This nigga just said, hold up, 10 seconds, go back.
Fortunately, humanity is now...
Blessings, angel, blessings. Hold up, I gotta catch this nigga. He said, I swear we're stuck on some Back to the Future. He said humanity is back, like the aliens have been sitting in that White House or some shit.
Control. We have pretty much completely ignored this warning. It's as if an alien civilization warned us by email of its impending arrival, and we replied, "Humanity is currently out of the office."
What?
Fortunately, humanity is now back in the office and has read the email from the aliens. Of course, many of the risks from AI are well recognized already, including bias, disinformation.
Yeah, this nigga on mushrooms right now in this meeting. Blessings, Angel Hat, and blessings says, how you doing? My bad. This guy right here really had me a little stuck right now. Like I was stuck on stupid. I had to rewind that and make sure I heard that John right. He's stuck on Back to the Future. We're not even talking about Terminator or Matrix right now. This nigga stuck on Back to the Future. Kind of look like him too.
Manipulation and impacts on employment. I'm happy to discuss any of these, but most of my work over the last decade has been on the problem of control. How do we maintain power forever over entities more powerful than ourselves?
Hold up.
The core problem we have studied comes from AI systems pursuing fixed...
All right, so I get it. I was about to be confused again. He said over entities that are more powerful than us. He's talking about the robots, but I'm guessing he's trying to say robots can get possessed too, just like humans. Maybe I'm tripping, but listen, man. Y'all talking like y'all already in the Matrix. Like if y'all talking to Morpheus and Neo and shit, can y'all translate in English a little bit real quick?
Objectives that are misspecified. The so-called King Midas problem. For example, social media algorithms were trained to maximize clicks and learn to do so by manipulating human users and polarizing societies. But with LLMs, we don't even know what their objectives are. They learn to imitate humans and probably absorb all too human goals.
Yo, that's crazy. You see how he's talking about further into the future. See, this is what the book of Sophia Stewart was talking about. We're used to the regular robots, right? We seen Terminator, we seen Matrix, we seen Demolition Man, we seen RoboCop, we seen all that. So we seen the different types of robots, right? But a lot of people thought that it was bullshit that, you know, a robot could actually walk side by side with us looking like they're actually humans. No, this lady actually had a vision in the early 80s before the cell phone and the computer came out. Yes, technology existed. Yes, robots were there. They were trying to figure all this out, how to make the computers, all this stuff, right? But my thing is, right, nobody could have imagined that there could be a robot walking side by side with us, looking just like us. Like I said on part 5, I said on part 4, It's like, imagine, yo, you walking down the street and you're thinking a regular human being is walking right by you saying hi, but out of nowhere, we're not going to even say a water rat, which is the Chihuahua. We're going to say a pit bull comes in, bites the nigga in the ass and, takes a good chunk of it. And you don't see blood coming out, but you see nothing but metal. Like, if we do see that tomorrow, we shouldn't even be shocked because, that would mean that Kanye West and a lot of motherfuckers out here that are celebrities were speaking the truth when they were talking about clones and robots looking just like us. Listen, I'm going to say this, right? We've been in the middle of all of it. They're just exposing the truth little by little the way they want to. Let me cam up so y'all don't, Oh, and I can see right now that, hey, bring me back. They're just showing us. They're just exposing the truth little by little. It's been there. Y'all heard of the rumors, Area 51 and all that stuff. Like, come on, let's be real for 1 second. Let's be real. I know all this shit is funny because it's crazy. Like, you would have never thought that what you saw in the movies could come into reality one day, right? Yeah. Welcome to the Matrix. So, hold on 1 second. Let me read the comments real quick. Yeah, God is coming soon. Yes, you're right. Well, Angel said, I think that's why they want more people to look what? Oh, endodrona. I can't say the word right, but I got it. Listen, listen, for those of y'all that don't think, listen, let me ask you a question. When these people they already got middle parts in their bodies, do y'all think that they're completely human, or do y'all think that they're cyborgs? And I'm talking about the people that already got, like, there's people already with like metal hands and stuff like that, moving the metal legs and all that. Do y'all know y'all do know they're half cyborgs, right? Yeah. DC speaks a lot about if y'all watch if y'all ever read DC comics or watch DC cartoons, like, Batman, Joker, Superman and all that, Harley Quinn, all that, they kind of speak on it. Cyborg, like, a lot of these people, what makes you think, who speaks a lot on this? Oh my God, Papa Duck. I love him so much. Like, yo, because he speaks facts. He speaks a lot about this. Half of the humans right now are cyborgs, whether y'all like it or not. Half of the people, like, listen, Japan, China, and all of them, they got chips already implanted in their hands. Here in the United States is here. For the people that were asleep when the pandemic first started, they did it in front of our eyes. The news reporters, a lot of bloggers and shit like that, they went and they put the chip in their fucking wrist so they can, get scanned like that. All the info is in their wrist. But what's crazy is how a lot of us ain't woke yet, and we don't realize that we are living among cyborgs. That's the crazy part. Y'all really thought that a cyborg was a whole robot? A cyborg ain't nothing but a half human, half robot. Robo Man. I mean, like, if y'all remember the movies, all of that. Wait, what? Oh, the Antichrist. Okay. My bad. I'm learning, young Riaz. My bad. I was close. I was kind of close. I'm learning, young Riaz. I'm learning. But thank you for correcting me, though, because, see, I was off track. Like, they could be boy or girl. Facts. It doesn't matter. Like, they could look just like us, and it's here. For those of y'all, oh, it's coming soon. Coming soon where? We in it already. We're in the middle of the Matrix. Y'all don't notice? Like, we've been in the middle. They just been taking it out little by little. Wi-Fi, smartphones, smart TVs. Come on, man. Wake up. But you know what? Let me get back to let's bring y'all shorty Racheal out. For those of you that are the fuck in bed, stay the fuck asleep. Like, if you haven't woken up, stay in bed. Stay in bed. Morpheus will come around and give you that little pill again. But back on topic, it's crazy, right? Because they're even telling us these senates are scared. Android armies, yeah, it's here. Everything is here. People are just too asleep, like, or they're woke and they don't give a fuck. But they gonna give a fuck when it's here. Like I be telling everybody, these distractions ain't for no reason, and there's a reason I did these lives just like this. I'm hoping that a lot of people get the message. I'm only here to bring the news. I'm here to bring awareness. Nothing more, nothing less. We're not here to judge nobody. Everybody's more than welcome to give their opinions and their perspectives because it does help a shorty out. Like I said before, like we're not here to judge. We're here to build. We're here to get along. We're here to bring awareness. And if we can't do that, listen, how in the world can we build if we can't get the fuck along? Let's make that one make sense. Real shit. I can't bring awareness if I'm beefing with the whole goddamn world. There's no point of me beefing with nobody if the beef ain't with me. So, like I said, let's do this. Let's talk about it. But let's keep listening to what he got to say. And I'm going to keep giving my reaction because this is crazy. I wonder how many people are with it though. Like I have a survey up for those of y'all who want to vote. It says, "Will robots benefit mankind?" Can y'all please, leave y'all little vote right there and help a shorty out with that? And let's see how many people agree with artificial intelligence taking over, and how many people agree with artificial intelligence not take. I mean, don't agree with artificial intelligence taking over. Real shit.
in the process. Now, regulation is often said to stifle innovation, but there is no real trade-off between safety and innovation. An AI system that harms human beings is simply not good AI. And I believe analytic predictability is as essential for safe AI as it is for the autopilot on an airplane. This committee has discussed ideas such as third-party testing, licensing, national agency, an international coordinating body, all of which I support. Here are some more ways to, as it said, move fast and fix things. First, an absolute right to know if one is interacting with a person or a machine. Second, no algorithms that can decide to kill human beings, particularly when attached to nuclear weapons. Third, a kill switch that must be activated if systems break into other computers or replicate themselves. Fourth, go beyond the voluntary steps announced last Friday. Systems that break the rules must be recalled from the market for anything from defaming real individuals to helping terrorists build biological weapons. Now, developers may argue that preventing these behaviors is too hard.
So if y'all know that terrorists could take, shout out to Young Riaz, because Young Riaz said it on part 3, part 4, and part 5. He actually hopped on part 5 and kind of, spoke a little bit about his concern about the terrorists and all that. So it's crazy how they're mentioning that right now. Like I told y'all, I'm actually reacting with y'all. I didn't see this whole meeting. Yesterday I was caught up, so I couldn't even try to, watch the video or nothing. So I'm actually reacting with y'all at the same time. Yo, but this is crazy because Young Riaz, he said it. He spoke on his concerns about the terrorists, and that is a great question. What y'all gonna do if the terrorists use this for something else that shouldn't be used? Is y'all really, really gonna keep trying to be pressed about making this legal?
Because LLMs have no notion of truth and are just trying to help. This is no excuse. Eventually, and the sooner the better, I would say, we will develop forms of AI that are provably safe and beneficial, which can then be mandated. Until then, we need real regulation and a pervasive culture of safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll begin the questioning. We're going to have 7-minute rounds. I expect we'll have many more than one, given the challenges and complexity that you all have raised so eloquently. I have to say, Professor Russell, you also in your testimony, the written testimony, recount a remark of Lord Rutherford, September 11th, 1933, at a conference when he was asked about atomic energy, and he said, quote, "Anyone who looks for a source of power in the transformation of the atoms is talking moonshine," end quote. The ideas about the limits of human ingenuity have been proven wrong again and again and again. And we've managed to do things that people thought unthinkable, whether it's the Manhattan Project under the guidance of Robert Oppenheimer, who now has become a bold-faced term in popular print, or putting man on the moon.
The Manhattan Project. If y'all don't know what that is, if y'all know how to use Google, I suggest and I urge a lot of people to go look it up. If y'all don't know what the Manhattan Project is, go look it up.
Which many thought was impossible to do. So we know how to do big things. This is a big thing that we must do, and we have to be back in the office to answer that email that is, in fact,
Is this nigga really stuck on the aliens? I'm sorry, but like, come on, let's be real. Like, aliens though, like, if I haven't done enough research to know what the aliens really are, listen, if y'all do your research, y'all read history, and y'all put 2 and 2 together, y'all will find out who Dracula really is, who the real monsters that are talked about in so many books and everything. Like, let's wake up. Let's wake up. Y'all want some coffee? What type of coffee do y'all drink? As a matter of fact, y'all want some liquor in that coffee? Let's give it a little extra kick. Shit.
siren blaring for everyone to hear and see. AI is here, and beware of what it will do if we don't do something to control it. And not just in some distant point in the future, but as all of you have said, with a time horizon that would have been thought unimaginable just a few years ago, unimaginably quick. Let me ask each of you, because part of that time horizon is our next election in 2024. And if there's nothing that focuses the attention of Congress, it is an election. Nothing better than an election to focus the attention of Congress. Let me ask each of you what you see as the immediate threats to the integrity of our election system, whether it's the result of misinformation or manipulation of electoral counts or any of the possible areas where you see an immediate danger as we go into this next election. I'll begin with you, Mr. Amadeo.
Yes. So I thanks for this. Thanks for the question, Senator. I think this is obviously a very timely thing to worry about.
No, Rios, he means election. You do know that all these distractions are happening right around election time, right? I wonder if anybody peeps that. And then they come up with some new shit, and we're just fine. Like, listen, everybody is so stuck on that. Hold on, let me cam up. Everybody keeps thinking that this new meat stuff that they have in the markets is something that they just passed by, right? No, the submarine distraction was there for a reason. They've been giving this to us in the markets. They just didn't want us to tell us. There was people fighting against it because it's not safe for us. In reality, in my opinion, the way they want to do this, we're eating nothing but ink and air. And we're thinking that it's actually, some steak, some mashed potatoes, some real chicken. It's already in the markets, and I kind of peeped it. That's why I've been said I don't want to eat no more meats. I was a half vegetarian. Because my baby pops got me to start eating beef and chicken and stuff like that. And I will only eat chicken breast and hamburgers and tacos. That's really the only way I would eat. I don't eat cold cuts, none of that. It grosses me the fuck out. The taste, everything. I'm more of a veggie salad type of person. Like, real shit. Like, call me a rabbit. I don't give a fuck. I'll eat salads all day. Real shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Meats to me, my whole life, ever since I was little, they grossed me out. And I used to get in trouble for fucking throwing the meat. You know that it got to the point where me and my brother got slick and we used to throw the meat up in the ceiling. My mom used to get done cleaning. Then we used to have to get the ladder and have to go clean that joint up and everything. Because at times we got caught because that joint would fall from it. When she would make rice with meat in it, we would do the same thing. Try to like, oh shit, like, what the fuck? We had the dogs. Like, come on, help. Try to feed the dogs so we wouldn't get in trouble. I'm not into eating meat. I'm real serious. I don't eat meat. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Like, growing up, I used to see the pigs when they used to cut them up and everything. And then they used to see the pus and all that. I'm like, oh my God, when you eat pork, pork has a weird aftertaste to it. No matter how you cook it and how much flavor you put into that joint. I got tricked into eating deer meat one day. Real shit. They telling me it's beef. It kind of tastes like beef. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but it had an aftertaste to it that got me pissed off. And then when they told me I ate Bambi, yo, I cried. I'm not lying. I fucking cried. Like, how you gonna lie to me? You made me eat Bambi against my will. I did not want to eat Bambi or his mama. And I'm dead serious. How dare you? I was freaking 15 years old. They fed me Bambi. How dare y'all? Then they wanted to feed me Thumper. I sat here and I'm like, y'all really slaughtering these animals. Like, why? And I'm serious though. Like, I really cried. I got in my feelings. Like, they slaughtered Thumper too, and y'all want to eat Thumper? How dare y'all? Thumper, like, if y'all watch Baby, y'all know what I'm like. Y'all eat rabbits? And now that I'm older, I see so many people like, y'all really eating rabbits. Like, I thought y'all was really tricking me when I was little. I'm like, no, man, fuck that. And people wonder why the fuck I won't eat meat. Y'all out here slaughtering every animal. They matter too. If y'all think I'm like this, my daughter's worse. Y'all sitting slaughtering Bambi, Thumper, and all the motherfuckers out there. Even fucking, what's his name? The elephant with the big ears. But listen, it's just crazy. But let's get back on topic, y'all. Let's get back on topic. My bad. Dumbo, yes, Dumbo. That's his name, Dumbo. Damn elephant that flew, big ass ears.
When I think of the risks here, my mind goes to misinformation, generation of deep fakes, use of AI systems to manipulate people or produce propaganda or just do anything deceptive. I can speak a little bit about some of the things we're doing. We train our model with this method called constitutional AI, where you can lay out explicit principles. It doesn't mean the model will follow the principles, but there are terms in our constitution, which is publicly available, that tells the model not to generate misinformation. The same is true in our business terms of use. One of the commitments with the White House was to start to watermark content, particularly in the audio and visual domain. I think that's very helpful, but would also benefit from watermarking. Gives you the technical capability to to detect that something is AI generated, but requiring it on the side of the law to be labeled, I think, would be something that would be very helpful and timely.
Thank you. Ms. Bengio.
I agree with all of that. I will add a few things. One concern I have is that even if companies use watermarking, and especially because there's now several open source versions to train LLMs or use them, including model weights that have been made available to the global community. We also need to understand how things can go wrong on that front. In other words, people are not all going to obey that law. And one important thing I'm concerned about is one can take a pre-trained model, say by a company that made it public, and then without huge computing resources, so not the 100 million cost that it takes to train them, but something very cheap, can tune these systems to a particular task, which could be to play the game of being a troll, for example. There's plenty of examples of that to train them on, or other examples in generating deep fakes in a way that might be more powerful than what we've seen up to now. So I don't know how to fix this, but I want to bring that to the attention of this committee.
Thank you. Well,
same to you, Angel. Same to you. Hope you have a blessed and humble day, and I hope everything goes well. Thank you for popping up and showing the shorty support. It's always, it's always fun having you on the panel, y'all. Listen, man, Angel is somebody that's very funny. Y'all haven't subbed up to Angel, go sub up to her. Her and Perpetual, yo, they are real freaking funny, yo. I love them, both of them. Like, both great sisters.
on that point and on both of the excellent points that you both have raised, I would invite fixes. And
Well, I mean, one immediate fix is to avoid releasing more of these pre-trained large models. That's the thing that governments can do, because right now, very few companies, including the 7 you brought last week, can do that. And so that's a place where government can act.
Professor Russell.
Yeah, I would certainly like to support the remarks of the other two witnesses. And I would say my major concern with respect to elections would be disinformation, and particularly external influence campaigns, because with these systems, we can present to the system a great deal of information about an individual, everything they've ever written or published on Twitter or Facebook, their social media presence, their floor speeches. External influence campaigns, because with these systems, we can present to the system a great deal of information about an individual, everything they've ever written or published on Twitter or Facebook, their social media presence, their floor speeches, and train the system and ask it to generate a disinformation campaign, particularly for that person.
Oh snap! So yeah, see, I'm not tripping. Yeah, y'all spying on us now, huh? What's crazy is that we're basically the test. Have y'all peeped it yet? We the guinea pigs.
And then we can do that for 1 million people before lunch. And that has a far greater effect than the sort of spamming and broadcasting of false information that isn't tailored to the individual. I think labeling is important. For text, it's going to be very difficult to tell whether a short piece of text is machine generated if someone doesn't want you to know that it's machine generated. I think an important proposal from the Global Partnership on AI.
Once again, shout out to young Riaz for bringing that information out before he even said it, because I think he said it on part 2 or part 3. He said it on one of the parts, but I know he said it.
Is actually for a kind of an escrow, an encrypted storage, where every output from a model is stored in an encrypted form, enabling, for example, a platform to check whether a piece of text that's uploaded is actually machine generated by testing it against the escrow storage without revealing private information, etc. So that can be done. Another problem we face is that there are many, many extremely well-intended efforts to create standards around labeling and how platforms should respond to labels in terms of what should be posted, and media organizations like the BBC, the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, et cetera. There are dozens of these coalitions. The effort is very fragmented, and there are as many standards as there are coalitions. I think it really needs national and probably international leadership to bring these together, to have pretty much a unified approach and standards that all organizations can sign up to. And thirdly, I think there's a lot of experience in other spheres, such as in the equity markets, in real estate, in the insurance business, where truth is absolutely essential. If you take the equity markets, if companies can make up their quarterly figures, then the equity markets collapse. And so we've developed this whole regulated third-party structure of accountants, audits, so that the information is reasonably trustworthy. In real estate, we have title registries, we have notaries, all kinds of stuff to make it work. We don't really have that structure in the public information sphere. And we see, again, it's very fragmented. There's factcheck.org, there's Snopes, there's, I suppose Elon Musk is going to have his Truth GPT, and so on. again, this is something that I think governments can help licensing and standards for how those should function. And again, what platforms do with the information that the third-party institutions supply to enable users to have access to high-quality information streams. So I think there's quite a lot we can do, but it's pretty urgent.
Thank you. I think all of these points argue very, very powerfully against fragmentation, for some kind of single entity that would establish oversight standards, enforcement of rules, because as you say, malign actors can not only eliminate quarterly reporting, they can also make up numbers for corporations that can disastrously impact the stock of the corporation.
If I just might add one point, we're absolutely not talking about a ministry of truth. In some sense, it's similar to what happens in the courts. The courts have standards for finding out what the truth is, but they don't say what the truth is. And
that's interesting, ain't it?
We need.
But protecting our election system has to be a priority. I think all of you are.
He just said protecting our election system has to be a priority.
Very, very emphatically and cogently making that point.
Yeah, I would like to add one suggestion, which may sound drastic, but isn't if you look at other fields like banking. In order to reduce the chances that AI systems will massively influence voters through social media, one thing that should have been done a long time ago is that social media accounts should be restricted to actual human beings that have identified themselves, ideally in person. Right?
Can you break it
right
down
now,
for me?
social media companies are spending a lot of money to figure out whether an account is legitimate or not. They will not by themselves force these kinds of regulations because it's going to create friction to recruit more users. But if the government says everyone needs to do it, they'll be happy. Well, I'm not them, but that's what I would if I were them.
Thank you. Senator Hawley.
Let's start, if we could, by talking about who controls this technology currently and who's developing it. Mr. Amade, if I could just start with.
Right. Great question. But allegedly it was Tesla who came up with the idea. So let's see.
You just help me understand some of the structure of your company, of Anthropic. Google owns a significant stake in your company, doesn't it?
Yes, Google was an investor in Anthropic. They don't control any board seat.
So they're named investor. So Google's an investor on these. Google's part in this is being an investor in the AI artificial intelligence project.
But yes, Google is an investor in Anthropic.
Give us a sense of what are we talking about? What kind of stake are we talking about?
I don't remember exactly. Couldn't give it to you exactly.
Damn.
I suspect it's low double digits, but would need to follow up on this.
Well, the press has reported it at 300 million.
Am I tripping, or is he nervous, or is he stuttering because he has a condition? Because if he has a condition, listen, I can't. But are you nervous right now?
Dollars an investment with at least a 10% stake in the company. Does that sound broadly correct?
That sounds broadly correct.
I think he's nervous.
Big stake. Let's talk about OpenAI, where you used to work, right?
Yes.
OpenAI, it's been reported, has a very significant chunk of funding that comes from another massive technology company, Microsoft. It's been reported in the press that this was one of the reasons that you left the company. You were concerned about this. I'll let you can speak to that if you want to. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But the stake that I believe Microsoft is reported to have in OpenAI approaches 49%. So it's not controlling, but it's awfully close. Tell me this: when the Google's stake in your company occurred, the Financial Times broke the story on this, but reported that the transaction wasn't publicized when it actually happened. Why was that? Do you know?
I couldn't speak to the decisions made by Google here. I do want to make one point, which is our relationship with Google at the present time. It's primarily focused on hardware. So in order to train these models, you need to purchase chips. And this investment came with commitment to spend on the cloud. And our relationship with Google has been primarily focused on hardware, hasn't primarily been commercial or involved with governance.
So there's no plans to integrate your Claude, your equivalent of ChatGPT. There's no plans to integrate that with Google Search, for example.
That's not occurring at the present time.
Well, I know it's not occurring, but are there plans to do it? I guess is my question.
Yeah, he seems very nervous to answer these questions. So is it?
I mean, I can't speak to what I can't speak to what the possibilities are for the future, but that's not something that's occurring at the present.
Don't you think that would be frightening? I mean, just to come back to something Professor Russell said a moment ago, he talked about the ability in the election context of AI to fed in the information from, let's say, one political figure, everything about that person, the ability to come up with a very convincing misinformation campaign. Now, imagine if that technology also, if the same large language model, for example, also had the information, the voter files, millions of voters, and knew exactly what would capture those voters' attention, what would hold it, what arguments they found most persuasive, the ability to weaponize misinformation and to target it toward particular voters would be exceptionally powerful, right? Now, search is all about getting and keeping users' attention. That's how Google makes money. I'm just imagining your technology, a generative AI, aligned and integrated and folded into search, the power that would give Google to get users' attention, keep their attention, push information to them. It'd be extraordinary, wouldn't it?
Yes. So, I mean,
Let me break it down for a lot of people. For those of y'all that don't know or trying to figure out what he's trying to say, for those of y'all that don't know, Google does analytics, right? I'm hoping I'm saying it right? Basically, like whatever you search the most on your phone, it could be WWF, it could be Dave's Loaf, it could be a novella, it could be the news. So if they notice that this is what you're looking for the most, right? They're going to keep pushing and pushing just the same type. Facebook does it, Instagram does it, TikTok does it, YouTube does it. Same thing. It's like whatever you search the most is that type of information, that type of videos, that type of whatever is going to keep pushing your way. So it's kind of like an algorithm thing. I don't know how to put it into words. So I'm hoping that somebody in the near future could, react to this and kind of break it down, because he's not lying on what he's saying about Google. Whatever you search the most for on Google, it is what it will, how can I say it, recommend the most back. It's crazy, but it's true.
Senator, I think these are very important issues, and I want to raise a few points on here. One is some of the things I said in response to Senator Blumenthal's questioning, which is on misinformation. So we put terms in Claude's constitution that tell it not to generate misinformation or political bias in any direction. I again want to emphasize over and over again that these methods are not yet perfect, and the science of producing this is not exact yet. But this is something we work on. I think you're also getting at some important privacy issues here about personal information, and this is an area where also in our constitution we discourage our models from producing personal information. We don't train on publicly available information. So it's
Stop saying train. You mean program, because you don't train a robot. You train a person to go to work. You train a dog to do tricks, to lay down, to do this. You don't train a robot. You program them. They don't have a brain to get brainwashed. So you're programming something into their data, into their motherboard. Stop saying train. I keep saying, that shit me off when they keep saying it, because you're not training a dog. Y'all programming a robot.
It's very core to our mission to produce models that at least try not to have these problems.
Well, you say that you tell the model not to produce misinformation. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but do you tell it not to help massive companies make a profit?
I forgot to share it.
This would be Google's
Sure,
interest, right above all profits. The whole reason they want to get users' attention and then keep users' attention and keep us searching and scrolling is so that they can push products to us and make lots and lots of money, which they do.
Facts.
It seems to me that your technology melded with theirs could make them an enormous sum of money. That would be great for them. Would it be so good for the American consumer?
Again, I can't speak to I can't speak to the decisions made by a different company like Google, but we are doing the best we can to make our systems ethical. When in terms of how do we tell our model not to do things, there's a training process where we train the model in a loop to tell it for some given output, is your response in line with these principles? And over the last 6 months since we've developed this method of constitutional AI, we've gotten better and better at getting the model to be in line with what the Constitution says. Again, I would still say it's not perfect, but we very much focus on the safety of the model so that it doesn't do the things that you're concerned about, Senator.
Well,
so if it's not perfect, why are you even trying to put it out in the market? Why are you even trying to bring it out to the world? Like there a lot of us as civilians, us as humans, we should be concerned, especially knowing that this is the type of race. Well, maybe not say race. This is the type of thing that can go rogue and try to take over. They're already planning to replace people in their, they're already planning to replace mankind. And I'm not saying us as humans, probably they're going to get there. What I'm trying to say is they're trying to replace people's jobs. Like if you work at an Amazon, if you work at a gas station, if you work at, at a store, at a supermarket or shit like that, they're trying to make it as already AI, everything artificial intelligence, because they work faster than humans. But it's not going to work out. At the end of the day, a human still has to control the robot. I'm trying to figure out how y'all gonna make y'all haven't even gotten it to perfection. But what's crazy, it's already here. Everybody's been asleep. We can't stop that. The question is, right? The question is, should we wait and watch how this plays? Or should we stick together, come together, and take action, or let the government handle this? That's the biggest question.
Listen, I think this has surfaced an important point, and I just want to underscore this because I think it's important. All this, I appreciate that you want your models to be ethical and so forth. That's great, but I would just suggest that is in the eye of the beholder, and the talk of what is ethical or what is appropriate is going to really vary significantly, determined by or depending on who controls the technology. So I'm sure that Google or Microsoft, using these generative models, linking it up with their ad-based models, would say, oh, it's perfectly ethical for us to try and get the attention of as many consumers as possible by any means possible and to hold it as long as possible. And they would say, there's no problem with that. That's not misinformation. That's business. Now, would that be good for American consumers? I doubt it. Would that be respectful of American consumers' privacy and their integrity? Would it prevent them, or would it protect them rather from manipulation? I doubt it. I mean, so I think we've got to give some serious thought here to who controls this technology and how they are using it. And this is, I appreciate all that you're doing. I appreciate your commitments. I think it's great. I just want to underline, this is a very serious structural issue here that we're going to have to think hard about. And the control of this technology by just a handful of companies and governments is a huge, huge problem. Hopefully we can come back to this. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Senator Hawley. Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you very much. So I chair the Rules Committee, and we're working on a number of pieces of legislation, and I've really appreciated working with Senator Hawley on some of this. But one bill is, watermarks and making sure that
All right, guys. For anybody that comes in, people that catching the replay can't do it. But so anybody that does come in, I left the poll. Anybody in the chat, I left a whole new poll. Should we wait should we wait this out and see what happens? Should we let the government handle it or should we take action? What do y'all think we should do? Leave y'all polls right there and the shorty will check them out in a minute and then leave them. When she ends it, it will pop up on the chat and y'all will see how many voted for what. But me, I think we should take action. I don't know what y'all think, but if y'all want to help a shorty out, leave y'all comments. Let a shorty know what y'all think and how y'all feel. Should we take action? Should we wait and see what happens? Or should we let the government handle it? Let's talk about it. What y'all think? Leave your comments down below.
Election materials say produced by AI, but I don't think that's enough when you look at the fact that someone's going to watch a fake Joe Biden or a fake Donald Trump or a fake Elizabeth Warren. All of this has really happened, and then not know who the person is and not know
Blessings, Uncle L. Blessings.
if it's really them. And it's not going to help just at the very end. It might for some things, but to just say at the end, oh, by the way, that was produced by AI. I hope you saw our little mark at the end that says that. So could you address that, Professor Russell? How within the clear confines of the Constitution for things like satire, we're going to have to do more than just watermarks.
I do want to be careful not to veer into, once again, the sort of Ministry of Truth idea. But I think clear labeling, I mean, if you look at what happened with credit cards, for example, it used to be that credit cards came with 14 pages of tiny, tiny print. And that allowed companies to rip off the consumer all the time. And eventually Congress said, no, there's got to be disclosure. You've got to say, this is the interest rate, this is the grace period, this is the late fee, and a couple of other things. That has to be in big print on the front of the envelope or on the front page. There are very strict rules about how you direct market credit cards and other lending products. And that's been enormously beneficial because it actually allows competition on those prime.
That's an interesting but great comparison, but kind of interesting. Why would he bring the credit cards up? But for those of y'all that didn't know a lot about this, y'all learning. But I'm kind of curious. I'm about to start searching up why would he compare the two though.
Primary features of the product.
As opposed, you can't really compare a credit card to someone who's telling the United States of America that there's some kind of a nuclear explosion when there isn't.
You see, listen, man. I think we was already here when we paused it the last time, but I took it back, and it's great that I'm doing this because I'm actually catching on to things that I've missed. That's crazy. I think this is where we had paused it because I remember the lady talking. Well, I don't know, but yeah, there was no other lady talking in the beginning. So listen, I forgot where we paused it the last time. All I know is that I pushed it back all the way. But this is crazy though, yo. This right here has me like, what the fuck?
But
why would he though? Like, y'all see how I said it's an interesting, comparison. But why would he compare it to a credit card?
But the point being, we can mandate much clearer labeling than just a little thing in the corner at the end of the 90-second piece, right? We could say, for example, there's got to be a big red frame around the outside of the image when it's a machine-generated image.
Okay, I'm just going to, Professor Bengio, what do you think?
Yeah, skip that nigga.
My view on this is
he was tripping. One hell of a comparison, though. Interesting.
We should be very careful with any kind of use of AI for political purposes, political advertising, whether it's done officially through some agency that does advertising or in a more direct way.
But it might not be actual advertising. It's just put out for circulation. That's always what we've confronted because the Federal Election Commission, while deadlocking on this, has asked for authority, including the Republican appointed members, to do more. But go ahead.
In many countries, any kind of advertising, which would include disseminating such videos, is not allowed for some period before the election to try to minimize the potential effect of these things.
Right. Could I just, Mr. Amode, one significant concern, I'm just switching gears here because I talked to some people in the banking community about this, small banks, is that they are really worried they're going to see AI used to scam people. Pretending to be your mom's voice or your more likely granddaughter's voice.
Yo, didn't I say this on part 5? Like, what would not part 5, part 4, and part 3? Like, imagine somebody using your voice to imitate you. Imagine, like, if they already got the robots that already, skin, which they probably do because they already got the sex robots that are already, they look like freaking humans. Like, they look real, feel real, allegedly. And I say allegedly because I haven't seen one, I haven't touched one. Like, all I've seen is videos. But people around the world have gone crazy for them little sex robots. But to each his own. I guess that's what they like. But me, listen, I'm good with a real person. I want a real person next to me, with a real brain, a real heart that beats, blood floating through their veins, like not somebody that's been programmed to say something I want them to say. For all that, I might as well have a yes man. They exist.
Actually getting that voice right, making a call for money. How can Congress ensure that companies that create AI platforms can not be used for those deceptive platforms? What kind of rules should we put in place so that doesn't happen?
Yes, Senator. So I think these questions about deception and scams are probably closely related to these questions about misinformation, right? They're a little bit two sides of the same coin. So I think on the misinformation, I wanted to kind of clarify, there's technical measures and there's policy measures. Watermarking is a technical measure. Watermarking makes it possible to take the output of an AI system, run it through some automated process that will then return an answer that it was generated by AI or not generated by AI. That's important, and we're working on that, and others are working on that. But I think we also need policy measures. So going back to what the other two witnesses said, focusing on a requirement to label AI systems is not the same as a requirement to watermark them. One is for the designer of the AI system to embed something. The other is for wherever the AI system ends up, in the end, for someone to be.
Facts on top of freaking facts. Like, it's crazy. I think the bull is with it. Like, he wants this shit to happen. He's one of them little crazy, like them crazy scientists that want to take over the world and then they want to cover the moon and the sun and all that. The other bull, the old head, I think he's with it, yo. Let's end the world.
Be required to label
what
it.
The fuck?
So I think we need both, and probably this Congress can do more on the second thing, and the companies and researchers can do more on the first thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so what are you talking about? The scams where the granddaughter calls in, the grandma goes out and takes all her money out. We're just gonna let that happen, or
well, I mean, certainly, certainly, it's already illegal to do that. I can think of a number of.
So you still not answering the question. You with it? Like, what the? Yo, they want to take this shit further than what they're making us think. So I'm glad she's on point.
Authorities that we use to strengthen that for AI in particular. I think that's kind of up to the Senate. And
See, I knew he was nervous earlier with the question that the bull asked him. You're not nervous now. You talking real good. Yo, something is up. Like, they really up to something. Shout out to the meal ticket. Shout out to Young Riaz. Because their opinions yesterday were on point. Their perspectives, because it's crazy. Like, they said what they said before these people said it, and we watched the whole video.
The Congress to figure out what the best measure is, but certainly I'd be in favor of strengthened protections there.
Well, I hope so. About half of the states have laws that give individuals control over the use of their name, image.
Blessings, Letitia. Blessings. How you doing?
And voice, but in the other half of the country, someone who was harmed by a fake recording purporting to be them has little recourse. Senator Coons and Tillis just did a hearing on this. Would you support a federal law, Mr. Vingio, that gives individuals control over the use of their name, image, and voice?
Certainly, but I would go further.
Mm-hmm.
He said, certainly. Yo, this nigga tripping. There's gonna be a lot of consequences behind this shit. There's gonna be World War V. We just skipped 4 because we're in the middle of 3.
If you think about counterfeiting money, the criminal penalties are very high, and that deters a lot of people. And when it comes to counterfeiting humans, it should be at least at the same level.
Okay. One last thing I wanted to ask about here is just the ability of researchers to be able to figure out what is going on. And there's a bill that a number of us are supporting, including Senator Blumenthal, that allows for researchers the transparency that we need. And including Senator Cassidy, Cornyn, Coons, and Romney. It's called the Platform Accountability and Transparency Act to require social media companies to share data with researchers so we can try to figure out what's happening with the algorithms and the like. Dr. Russell, why is researcher access to social media platform data so important for regulating AI?
So our experience actually involved 3 years of negotiating an agreement with one of the large platforms, only to be told at the end that actually they didn't want to pursue this collaborative agreement after all.
We don't really have 3 years to spare on AI, it sounds like. So
no, we don't.
Continue.
Yes. And you know, I then discussed this with the director of the digital division of OECD, and he said I was about the 10th person who had told him the same story. So it seems there's a modus operandi of appearing to be open to collaborations with researchers only to terminate that collaboration right before it actually begins. There have been claims that they have provided open data sets to researchers to allow this type of research, but I've talked to those researchers and it hasn't happened.
And why is it so important to have it to put in place these regulations? We know we can't wait for you to get all the data, obviously, and we can't let it take 3 years, but putting in place clear mandates that data be shared, why is that helpful?
Because the effects of, for example, the social media recommender systems are correlated across hundreds of millions of people. So those systems can shift public opinion in ways that are not even necessarily deliberate. They're probably not deliberate, but they can be massive and polarizing. Unless we have access to the data, which the companies internally certainly do. And I think the Facebook revelations from a few years ago suggested that they are totally aware of what's happening, but that information is not available to governments and researchers. And I think, you know, in a democracy, we have a right to know if our democracy is being subverted by an algorithm. And that seems absolutely crucial.
All right. You want to add one more thing?
Yes. Trying to respond to your question from another angle, why researchers? I would say academic researchers, not all of them, but many of them don't have any commercial ties. They have a reputation to keep in order to continue their career. So they're not perfect, but I think it's a very good yardstick to judge that something.
Except for Professor Russell.
Hey.
Okay, very good. Do you agree with it too, then?
Yes, I just wanted to say I think transparency is important even as a broader issue. You know, a number of our research efforts go into looking inside to see what happens inside AI systems, why they make the decisions that they make.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to turn over to my colleagues who've been patiently waiting. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll
So have you figured it out? Did you find out why they go rogue? Because I don't think none of us are willing to, you know, sit here and do a replay or sit here and live what the movie I, Robot is about.
circle back to the black box algorithms, which is a major topic of interest. Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here. Mr. Amadei, I think you got a little aggravated trying to answer Senator Hawley's question about something you may create that you think of as an
That's because she put pressure. He got nervous. You see, body language speaks 1,000 words. Yo, body language, body behavior speaks a lot. Something that these artificial intelligence motherfuckers cannot figure out. They cannot determine it. They can't see. They can't understand if you're sad, if you're, happy, if you're crying because your heart got torn. And I'm not gonna say broken because the heart is a muscle. So like it's crazy.
Ethical use. But let me tell you why this bothers us, the unethical use. Senator Blumenthal and I have worked together for nearly 4 years on looking at social media and the harms that have happened to our nation's youth. And hopefully this week, our Kids Online Safety Act comes out of committee. It wasn't intended. Social media wasn't intended. The intent was not to harm children, cause mental health crisis, put children in touch with drug dealers and pedophiles. But we have heard story after story and have uncovered instance after instance where the technology was.
Yeah, see, shout out to all those out here exposing them groomers, them pedophiles, them predators. As y'all can see, look, listen, man, we're being heard. Shout out to everybody exposing the predators, the groomers, the pedophiles, all of them. The R word people, like, yo, shout out to all of them. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. Don't give up. Don't change. Because listen, one way or another, as time goes by, we will be heard. So for all those out here with positive podcasts, speaking on the stuff that's going on around the world and stuff like that, those that get their channels taken down and they keep fighting and they make another channel. Yo, shout out to all of y'all because y'all not doing this in vain. And I keep saying it. We're not where we want to be, where we have to be. Things happen for a reason. See, our bodies are not ours. We belong to God. I grew up hearing that. We belong to God.
Was used in a way that nobody ever thought it was. And now we're trying to clean it up because we've not put the right guardrails in place. So as we look at AI, the guardrails are very important. And Professor Russell, I want to come to you because the U.S. is behind the.
Yo, yeah, I saw Megan. That shit was crazy. But that right there, Megan shows you. Like it shows you about the Terminator, the Matrix, and all that, why they were fighting and all that. Like it shows you. Megan only shows you that what Sophia Stewart said about the Terminator. Like if we would have came together before, we could have did something. If we talk about our ancestors so much that what I think is crazy is that we didn't learn. We haven't figured out why they sacrificed themselves. They did what they did, right? So that we could learn something. But we're stuck dwelling on a past that is not ours. They sacrificed their lives, right? And we're still sitting here making the same mistake time after time after time when they made a pathway for us. They made a pathway for us. Like there's a lot of people that are woke. One like Sophia Stewart, and she's not wrong. Like if you sit here and you do your research, you could actually sit here and predict the future yourself and see what's going to happen. Listen, call me crazy, talk shit about me, say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I'm confident because I know my history. I know my roots. In order for me to understand my present and understand the future that's coming, I had to understand the past. And not just my past, my ancestors' past. Understand why we're here and how we got here. And that takes time. That takes a lot of reading. That takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of listening. It takes a lot of shutting the fuck up and opening your ears up and listening. For those of y'all out there that like over talking and, being disrespectful and doing this and doing that, that's what it takes. I'm only 33 and I'm about to be 34 on August 19th. A lot of people be saying, yo, you only that? Like, you listen, I may have an old soul, like they say. I may be this, I may be that. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I am the way I am. I could have chosen to go different routes, but I decided to take the route that led me to where I'm at today. Because trust me and believe me, guys, y'all wouldn't be hearing me or listening to me today if I would have decided to take the routes that I would have first thought about. But I got blessed. I've been blessed. And at the beginning, I didn't know it. But it took a lot of people around me to open my eyes up from a teenager to now. And it took for me to give birth to my daughter, to sit my ass down. Because I knew how to give love, but I wasn't disciplined. And I didn't know how to receive it either. I didn't know how to accept it. I didn't start accepting certain people into my life until I gave birth to that little girl. Because what's crazy is I never knew the purest version of me until I started walking next to me. That's crazy because my daughter is the purest version of me. And we never know who we really are until we see them and we look into their eyes. Watching them grow up, we see who we really are and what our purpose really was, but we didn't understand it because we wasn't guided right. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. Hey, it is what it is, right? As people say. But to me, you want to know why I don't give up? Because of them, their friends. And even if it costs me my last breath, I know that I did my best to educate my kids and teach them morals and respect. And by the time they get older, they'll know how to deal with this cruel ass life, this cold ass world we was born into, that we was bought into. Because this is what it is. We're walking in hell. It's crazy how chapters of the Bible are coming into reality right now. How certain movies, it's like we're living through it. A lot of y'all wanted to feel and experience what it was like to feel, to be in the Matrix, to be a part of the Terminator, to feel what it was like to, be in the movie The Militia Man and all that, iRobot, RoboCop, and all that shit, right? We're in it. We're living it. We're experiencing it. It's kind of weird, right? You know what I call it? We're traveling back in time. It's like Back to the Future. Weird. But those of you that do pick up a book and read, those of you that, do your research will understand where I'm coming from. I can't break it down more than what I just did. I'm serious. I really can't. I can't dumbify it more than what I just did. And that's not bashing on nobody or bringing anybody down. It's just that sometimes we can't sugarcoat shit. Because sugarcoating shit is going to get people more confused than what they already is. There's no sugarcoating this. We're in it. Stop waiting for it. Jetsons is here. You know what we are? We're the Flintstones. The Jetsons is here. They're up there. Those of you that understand me, listen, shout out. Because I don't know how else to break it down. There's probably somebody else that could speak on these topics and, speak on it a little better. But me, I feel as though I have to dumbify it down for the ones that don't understand. And I'm not judging nobody. Once again, it's just that sometimes it's the way we speak. Welcome to the hood. But it's just crazy. But on some real shit, we're the Flintstones. And the people creating these robots and the people with the money, the ones in the rich neighborhoods and all that, those are the Jetsons. We're the Flintstones trying to make it to the Jetsons. But me personally, I'll stay a Flintstone. Real shit. I'll stay a Flintstone. Back on topic. Let's listen what you got to say.
We're really behind our colleagues in the EU, the UK, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, when it comes to online consumer privacy and having a way for consumers to protect that name, image, voice, having a way for them to protect their data, their writings, so that AI is not trained on their data. So talk for just a minute about how we keep our position as a global.
If only I could smack the next motherfucker that says train. Please stop saying train. They're programmed. They're metal machines. They're objects. They're things. They're not humans. You train a human to go to work. You train an athlete for sports. You train a dog to do tricks. You don't train a robot.
leader in generative AI and at the same time protect consumer privacy? Would a federal privacy standard help? What are your recommendations there?
I think there needs to be absolutely a requirement to disclose if the system is harvesting the data from individual conversations. And my guess is that immediately people would stop using a system that says, I am taking your conversation, I am folding it into the next version of the model, and anyone in the country can basically listen in on this conversation because they're going to be asking questions
Let
about
me ask
what
you
I did.
this. Do you think the industry is mature enough to self-regulate?
No.
Not. So therefore, it is going to be necessary for us to mandate a structure.
Yes, I think there is certainly a change of heart at OpenAI. Initially, they were harvesting the data produced by individual conversations. And then more recently, they said, we're going to stop doing that. And clearly, if you're in a company, and even not considering personal conversations, just in a company and you want the system to help you with some internal operation, you're going to be divulging company proprietary information to the chatbot to get it to give you the answers you want. And if that information is then available to your competitors by simply asking ChatGPT what's going on over in that company, this would be terrible. So having a clear definition of what it is, there's a technical term, oblivious, right? Which basically says, whatever we talk about, I am going to forget completely, right? That's a guarantee that systems should offer. I actually believe that browsers and any other device that interacts with individuals should offer that as a formal guarantee. Let me also make the point about enforcement, which I think Senator Hawley mentioned at the beginning, a right of action. But for example, we have a federal do not call list. So as I understand it, it's a federal crime for a company to do robocalls to people who are on the federal do not call list. My estimate is that there are hundreds of billions or possibly $1 trillion federal crimes happening every year.
Every day. Yes. So
and we're not really enforcing anything.
Right. There. So you would say existing law is not sufficient for AI.
Correct. And existing enforcement patterns.
Yes.
As well.
Let me move on. In
Blessings, Miss April Showers. Blessings. How you doing today?
Tennessee, AI is important. Our auto industry uses so many AI applications, and we followed this issue for quite a period of time because of the auto industry, because of the healthcare industry and the healthcare technology industry that is headquartered in Nashville. And of course, predictive diagnosis, disease analysis, research, pharmaceutical research benefits tremendously from AI. And then you look at the entertainment.
Hey, I have a question, right? Y'all the one that do the research, the analytics, and all that stuff, right? The statistics. I can't say that word right, so don't judge a shorty. But are you the one that keeps striking me and keeps saying I do medical misinformation on YouTube? Or is it somebody like you that works for YouTube? I'm sorry. That thought just came across. I've been thinking about it since you said what you said a minute ago. Are you the one striking me, or is it someone like you that works for YouTube? Because I be talking about CPS half the time. I stopped talking about the JAB. There's no reason why y'all should be, telling me I'm giving medical misinformation on my videos that have to do with CPS. I'm kind of curious, but back on topic. I just want to know if y'all ever come across my video. Can y'all answer my question, please?
Entertainment industry and the voice cloning. And you look at what our entertainers, our songwriters, our artists, our authors, our publishers, our TV actors, our TV producers are facing with AI. And to them, it is an absolute way that they're robbing them of their ability to make a living off of their creative work. So our creative community has a different set of issues. Martina McBride, who is no stranger to country music, went into Spotify, and the playlists are a big thing, building your own playlist. So she was going to build a country music playlist out of Spotify. She had to refresh that 13 times before a song by a female artist came up. 13 times. So you look at the power of AI to shape what people are hearing. And in Nashville, we like to say you can go on Lower Broad, you can go to the one of the honky tonks, your band can have a great night, you can be discovered in YouTube.
Yeah.
You could end up with a record deal. But if you've got these algorithmically AI generated playlists that cut out new artists or females or certain sounds, then you are limiting someone's potential.
Okay, I get you. I understand you. But let's take a commercial break real quick, right? And guys, guess what? Guess what? It's Leo season, y'all. I've been all month since the month started celebrating Leo season. Commercial break right now. Let me put a song that I dedicated to my brother and to me. His birthday was August 4th. Mine is August 19th. Shout out to all the Leos, y'all. Shout out to all the Leos. It's Leo season. Let me put this song on. It's one of my favorites. Let's take a little quick commercial break real quick. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm gonna edit this out. I have to. But let's take a little quick break real quick and play this song. Oh snap. Happy birthday, Miss April. Happy birthday. Shout out to all the Leos, yo. I'm a calm ass Leo, so y'all not really gonna see me, so unless you got me with a couple drinks. I don't see Jack Daniel nowhere. Where that nigga at? Jack, I need you, and I need Mary Jane. Where Jack at? Nah, it's not the 19th yet, but shit. I celebrated on my brother's birthday, and I think I got to celebrate from my old head. She's a Leo. She raised me, yo. She was one of the ones that was like, come here. She really pulled, yo. She was the one. She was the one, yo. She had my ass like, hold on 1 second, commercial break. Then I'm gonna get back onto the chat. Let me play this song. And y'all, if y'all know me, y'all know who it is. I love her, like motivation. Y'all know me, y'all know who I'm playing. But shout out to all the Leos. And listen, happy birthday to anybody. Doesn't matter what day of this month it lands on, it ends on the 21st. It started on July. At the end of July, middle of July, I think it was. Commercial break. Killing her shit. Dej Love is that shit. Shout out to all the Leos. Happy birthday to all the Leos that had a birthday from the beginning of Leo season. Shout out to all of y'all. Like, when I do my little birthday, I'm just gonna, be chilling, get my brother's name tatted right here underneath my sister. Like, and I'm gonna get the Leo paw prints. Like, as y'all can see, I got the Pisces right here, right? I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm not trying to show too much. So I got the Pisces. So it kind of goes a little down. So I can't put my shirt more down. And it goes right there. So around all this right here, going down like this, I'm going to try to get some Leo paw prints. Right around there, right with my brother's name on it. So I'm going to do this whole sleeve right here. I'm going to get this whole John done. All of it. And if y'all can see, I also got the John back here. Little John. So I'm about to have a little... I'm gonna see if I get somebody to do the tattoos, and we do just a little tattoo, John. Just take shots, smoke, fall back, relax, bring back memories, good memories, and forget about the bad ones, and just enjoy it, like as you should. Like, I don't like parties, I don't like clubbing, I don't go to bars. I like being in my own house, relaxing, falling back. I'm not that partying type of chick. I'm a stay-at-home person. So shout out to all the Leos out there. And I hope that y'all enjoy y'all birthdays. I hope y'all continue to enjoy y'all birthdays. For the Leos, all the way up to the 21st of August, because that's when it ends. Shout out. And now, back on topic. Let's get back on topic, y'all. So I had to take a little break for there. I haven't done that in a while, so I will edit that out. Shout out to all the Leos. Once again, shout out. Leo season, y'all. Ay, you gonna make me reload the page? Damn. Took a commercial break and now they're gonna make me. No, don't do that. Yep, it's gonna make me reload. What number? What's the timestamp? 110. I didn't want to reload. It's okay though. Timestamp 110. Oh, why you do this to me? I didn't want to reload. Damn. But since we're getting back on topic, guys, I do have a poll there. For those of y'all that wish to, take y'all vote, do y'all believe that we should wait this out, that we should take action, or wait for the government? Let y'all shorty know what y'all think and how y'all feel. For those of y'all catching the replay, please leave y'all comments. And like I say, y'all comments do help a shorty out. We're not here to judge. We're here to bring awareness. We're here to bring the news. That was at 110. So let's leave it at 109.
So having a clear definition of what it is, there's a technical term, oblivious, right? Which basically says whatever we talk about, I am going to forget completely, right? That's a guarantee that systems should offer. I actually believe that browsers and any other device that interacts with individuals should offer that as a formal guarantee. Let me also make the point about enforcement, which I think Senator Hawley mentioned at the beginning, a right of action. But for example, we have a federal do not call list. So as I understand it, it's a federal crime for a company to do robocalls to people who are on the federal do not call list. My estimate is that there are hundreds of billions or possibly 1 trillion federal crimes happening every year.
Every day. Yeah, so
and we're not really enforcing anything.
Right. So you would say existing law is not sufficient for AI.
Correct. And existing enforcement patterns.
Yes,
as well.
Let me move on. In Tennessee, AI is important. Our auto industry uses so many AI applications, and we followed this issue for quite a period of time.
And I said that before. I feel as though that artificial intelligence do benefit mankind in certain, how can I say it, in certain things, like I'm gonna say medical field. I believe it will benefit the medical field. I believe that, but then it's kind of scary too, because y'all see how they play around with us when it comes to the medical field and much more. So I'm kind of skeptical about that. But I feel as though that if they use it right, it will benefit the medical field. We already use it and it benefits us when it comes to making beats, our music, changing our voices and stuff like that when it comes to the music. Like I did a whole song. I do poems behind beats, right? And I know I did one and I got real good at it. And it was one that, I dedicated to my mom and all the moms out there that, don't pay attention to their kids or listen to their kids. They could be good moms, but their intention isn't to hurt their kids, but y'all not, how can I say it? They're not y'all first priority. So things happen and y'all let it happen because I don't know what the reason is, but your kids end up suffering. And I did real good on that poem. And everybody says like, yo, Ray, you should rap it out because all you got to do is work on your breathing. I tell everybody, I'm not a rapper. That's not what I want to do. I just want to express what I want to express behind these poems and put them out there. I put a beat on it because to be honest with y'all, when I'm writing, and I'm listening to a beat, it kind of adds a little extra, like it's weird, but I could add more to my poems with the beat. Weird as shit, but yes, I could do it. Yes, I could write lyrics. The only problem that I do, I gotta work on my run-on sentences because I end up putting periods and apostrophes in the wrong places. I don't know why I still do it, but I still do it. But other than that, I'm real good at writing poems and stuff like that, which I gotta get back to. But right now, I'm trying to get real good on my feet before I can sit down and get comfortable. I'm trying to start my own business. I want my daughter to be homeschooled, but right now she's going to be in a charter school until I'm able to homeschool her again because I'm up and down. And when you homeschool a child, I want to tell a lot of parents, you can't sit here and pull them out of school just to sit them there at home and you're not teaching them. You have to dedicate that time to them. You might as well say you're letting robots teach them because you got the smart TVs. You're letting the music raise them. You're letting, bloggers raise them, the influencers on the streets. Like, real shit. I'm sorry to say it. Like, it's not to make anybody feel no type of way on what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, yeah, it does benefit in a way. I agree with them, but it doesn't benefit us the way they want it to benefit us. It doesn't. I feel as though they're using this to go a little overboard. They got an agenda with that. That's my opinion. That's allegedly. And listen, like I said, I have no rights reserved on this video. Anything that a shorty says is her opinion and does not reflect on the members of the Writers for Life podcast, or anybody else that joins the Writers for Life podcast. This is my opinion, and it is allegedly. This is what I think. This is what I feel, and can't nobody change that. Like, this artificial intelligence shit is not going to work the way they want it to work. So I don't know why they're still trying, why they keep trying. Yeah, I got a child that's homeschooled, Miss April Showers. I haven't been able to get my daughter in because I've been dealing with a lot. Trust me, I've been dealing with so much. So it's kind of like, like, what do I do? I'm still stuck between a decision. So I'm trying to figure out how this is going to work with me working, a couple jobs, me trying to start my business, me trying to keep them fed, lights on and everything. So I'm going to figure it out one way or another. But like I said, I tell everybody, I prefer homeschool. I like it. I really do. My son doesn't like being homeschooled, but I think it's the best. But not all kids are going to like being homeschooled. I was homeschooled when I returned to the UK in 2016. Okay, you still home? No, you're in college now. You're in college. I keep forgetting, young Riaz. Homeschool is not really bad. It will, Miss April. Thank you so much. But getting back on topic, like this shit is all crazy. I feel as though we need to take action because if we don't take action, the agenda they have is, listen, they already taken over this. Listen, I'm not sure if this is the video because I think we're getting to the part. Yeah, we're already past the part where I paused. So this is not the video. I think it was on the other video where the lady talks about the sex trafficking and listen, we're already going through it. Our kids are already suffering because of this. Like, there shouldn't be all the stuff that's happening on social media, that's happening online, shouldn't be happening. And like she said a minute ago, social media was not intended for this. If y'all go do your research, when they came up with social media, it was intended for people to learn and do their research. Two, it was for people to communicate with each other. In reality, it was to be positive, but people are putting their own agendas when it comes to this online social media, when it comes to the web. And the dark web has been there. For those of y'all that be like, oh, that don't exist. The dark web's been there. They got movies about this. You know what's crazy? People will mimic the shit they'll see on a movie or on a song, but they will not comprehend the message that's being said on a movie or a song. That shit really fucks me up in the head. I'm going to be very honest. But let's get back on topic and listen to what they're saying.
Because of the auto industry, because of the healthcare industry and the healthcare technology industry that is headquartered in Nashville. And of course, predictive diagnosis, disease analysis, research, pharmaceutical research benefits tremendously from AI. And Then you look at the entertainment industry and the voice cloning, and you look at what our entertainers, our songwriters, our artists, our authors, our publishers, our TV actors, our TV producers are facing with AI. And to them, it is an absolute way that they're robbing them of their ability to make a living off of their creative work. So our creative community has a different set of issues. Martina McBride, who is no stranger to country music, went into Spotify, and the playlists are a big thing, building your own playlist. So she was going to build a country music playlist out of Spotify. She had to refresh that 13 times before a song by a female artist came up. 13 times. So you look at the power of AI to shape what people are hearing. And in Nashville, we like to say you can go on Lower Broad, you can go to the one of the honky tonks, your band can have a great night, you can be discovered in YouTube. Could end up with a record deal. But if you've got these algorithmically AI generated playlists that cut out new artists or females or certain sounds, then you are limiting someone's potential. Just as if you allow AI generated content like on Jukebox, which OpenAI is experimenting with, then you train it on that artist's sound and their songs to imitate them, then you are robbing them of the ability to be compensated. So how do we ensure that that creative community is still going to have a way to make a living without having AI become a way to steal?
Facts. Basically trying to say replacing their jobs. Basically, that's what's going to happen. They're going to take over their jobs because now they're not going to make no revenue at all.
Their creative talents and works.
And what's crazy is if you watch part 2 and part 3 of my lives, you will see that they're not, how can I say it? They can't get charged for doing a copyright. Nothing happens to the robot. What are the consequences though? They still haven't really answered that question.
I think this is a very important issue. I think it also applies to book authors, some of whom are suing OpenAI. And I believe I'm not really an expert on copyright at all, but some of my colleagues are, like Pam Samuelson, for example, and I think she would be a great witness for a future hearing. And I think the view is that the law, as it's written, simply wasn't ready for this kind of thing to be possible.
I'm not sure. They haven't mentioned that. That's a great question, though. I'm trying. We'll see, because there's a lot of meetings. I know there's going to be part 7, but I got a couple of podcasts to do before I do a part 7 to this. So I'm trying to get this and the article you got me out there so that people can, have that, have the news. And for those of them that didn't know it, listen, open your eyes up. This is right here on Google. Like, I'm not judging nobody. I got to say this because people seem to misunderstand people when people say certain things. But a lot of us do got technology in our hands. And it's crazy. I know a lot of people that don't have technology. And they know this by reading. We've gotten so lazy and so comfortable that a lot of us don't do our research. Even Google, you can sit here and talk to Google, Siri, Alexa, any of them, and they'll search up anything that you want them to search up because they're programmed to do that. Crazy, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a smartass. I don't want nobody to ever think of Shorty as being a smartass, but it's only but logic. It's only but logic. And Letitia's right. Can they change the owner of the robot? That's a great question. A real good question. And I wonder if somebody in the meeting is gonna in the trial, because this is actually a trial. That's the crazy part. If somebody in the trial is gonna ask that question, I wish I was there. Why won't they do these trials and these meetings with the civilians, with us, we the people? We're the ones that should really matter. It's like y'all making these decisions just through analytics. But how about the people that don't have social media and you cannot run analytics on their searches? Because they're not searching shit. They're reading it up at the library. Like, listen, I may sound crazy to a lot of y'all, but I'm hoping that a lot of y'all grasp what I'm trying to say. It's just certain ways I gotta deliver the message through here. Certain ways. I'm tired of getting striked. I gotta wait 3 months to get them strikes over and done with. And then I gotta sit here and fight them bitches. Like, it's not easy fighting these strikes, y'all. And I'm very opinionated. I'm very outspoken. I'm very blunt. That's why I try to hold back sometimes. When y'all see me like pause for 1 second, no, Ray, you cannot say this shit. So think of another way to say it. And that right there is where the situation gets hard. Like, wow, do I have to get ratchet on here? That's the crazy part. Because you have to speak in a way to deliver the message where people understand without saying something that will get you striked here on YouTube. That's the messed up part. Real shit.
So if by accident the system produces a song that has the same melody, then it's going to fall under existing law that you're basically plagiarizing, and there have been cases of human plagiarism that have succeeded.
We've explored the fair use issue in this committee, and we'll continue to do so. And my time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Senator.
Facts. That's why I keep telling y'all to understand part 6. I mean, is we in part 6? Yeah, we're in part 6. Part 6 of my life, my bad. I'm getting them all, Part 6 of my life, you have to go watch part 2, part 3, and part 4. Part 1 of my life is just basically explaining the chat GCP, whatever they call that, John. I mix it up. I say it wrong, so don't judge it shorty. But that's what part 1 of my life was. Kind of explains the chat, people talking and explaining. So I gave a little portion. I got to upload the links to that, John. But I'm hoping everybody grasps what I'm trying to do. Because I'm trying to do it in a way where I won't get striked.
Blackburn. We'll begin a second round of questions, and I want to begin with one of the points that Senator Blackburn was making about private rights of action, which I think Senator Hawley and I have discussed incorporating in legislation. In many instances, let's be very blunt, agencies become captive of the industries they're supposed to regulate. And this one is too important to allow it to become captive. And one very good check on the captivity of federal entities, agencies, or off.
Did you hear about the Hollywood writers? I think they're striking. Something about how to check on it. I know I heard about it, but I haven't really checked out the details. But I know there's a lot of writers going on strike because of I forgot what it was, but I know I got to check on it. I was listening to somebody speak on it on a podcast the other day, and I was supposed to do my research, but I haven't. I just got so much, but I'm doing it. Writers, we were protesting at school board meeting. People didn't want to get their hands dirty, basically not choose any side. Now they see the agenda. Listen, I'm gonna be very honest. I've been there when it comes to fighting the school, and I haven't gone to the school board all the way. I've actually been to the meetings that they have on the sides, because the reason why I won't go to the school board meeting, I want to be backed up. That's why I got the petition out there for people that are signing it. I want to thank those that have recently signed it. Like, keep sharing, keep signing it, and help a shorty. I want to go backed up. I want to go back with a crowd. Like, this little piece of paper right here is my head start. And everybody speaking up on it is a head start. I think a lot of us, they need more people. See, when they got these cameras on these buses, you know what happened? They had everybody worldwide. See, a lot of us were asleep when all this was happening. It's crazy as shit, but it's real. A lot of people got together. They got together. They didn't protest. They didn't riot. They united. You see how these truckers out here are how can I say it? These truckers not so long ago, they recently came together and they all did a strike. They stopped working. They didn't protest. They kind of, I would say, boycotted in a way. They all came together and they wasn't working for nobody and they made a change. But you want to know why that happened? Hold on one second. You know why that happened? Because everybody came together. That's how they also managed to put these cameras in these buses. That's why it's so hard for me to do it, because I'm not really backed up. I'm one woman fighting this war alone. I've only had a few people stand up and back out. So many people scared of the school system, and I really don't know why. Because if we come together, we could actually do something. Like, I don't understand people. Like, y'all scared for what? Let's keep listening to this, and then let me attend who's at the door real quick, and I got y'all. Give me 1 second.
Offices is in fact private rights of action. So I would hope that you would endorse that idea. I recognize you're not lawyers, you don't, you're not in the business of litigating, but I'm hoping that you would support that idea. I see nodding heads for the record. Let me turn to also to recap the very important comments that you all have made about elections, to take action against deep fakes, against impersonation, whether it's by labeling or watermarks, some kind of disclosure without censorship. We don't want.
All right, let me pause it there. I wanted to get back a couple seconds. But yeah, Miss April Showers is right. And you know what's crazy? Jennifer Lewis said it before. Like, if we don't take away their funds, they're going to take away our sons. And we keep giving them funds so they can keep taking away our sons. So it's us. We're the problem. We can't get a lot of things accomplished. We can't get a lot of bills and laws changed because we're too divided. And you know what's crazy? More women than men are divided. And we should all, doesn't matter the color of our skin. Do y'all know that we're one human race? One human race, different shades. And that's the messed up part about it. I'm trying to figure out, when in the world is y'all going to wake the fuck up? Y'all really waiting for Morpheus to come around and give y'all the little red pill or the little red blue pill to put y'all to sleep and wake y'all up? He came around the first time and y'all ignored the shit out of him. Like, I'm sorry to say it like that, and I'm going to keep saying it like that, because y'all really stuck in the matrix. Y'all really are. And y'all putting down the people that are fucking woke. The ones that are trying to help. The ones that are trying to pass these laws and these changes so that our kids can have a different, better future. And y'all, it's crazy. Sophia Store's vision, we're living it right now. Terminator, Matrix, we're living it right now. Go to the meeting. Make your voice be heard. You might have to be the leader, and then you'll be surprised how many people will support you. Need the media attention locally or national? I ain't think about it like that. I just, like, everybody's being lazy. Like, what's the point of going to somewhere big when it took me a minute to open up in front? Like, I actually spoke to the representative with Boyle. Boyle is the senator of Philadelphia. So I spoke to his representative, Patrick something. I can't pronounce his last name, but I have a video up on YouTube on my main page. I spoke to him. I asked him about the cameras because he was there. So I actually spoke to him in person. Like Boyle is up here. The representative is right below him. So his representative goes talk to him, gives him the idea that I gave him, what I talked to him about, and everything. I posted that I emailed him maybe 2 weeks later. I haven't gotten no response back. But you know what? I might do it the way Ms. April is saying it. But what's crazy is, what's the point of me fighting alone? Y'all do know I'm also fighting the teachers union, right? So taking it that big step is not that I'm scared. I made my step. I got the petition. I fought the school. I went to court and fought them. So I'm not scared. That's not the thing. How many people are willing to make that stand behind the leader? Because see, People fail to realize that the leader is the one taking all the risks, not the people following. It's the leader that takes the risk. I'm willing to take the risk, right? I know if something happens to me, like I said, somebody else is going to continue. I know that for a fact. People have shown that to me. They don't have to prove nothing else to me. Like, we know we're fighting for our kids. We know. Listen, let me bring it back a notch, because if I really start going in ham, I will get a strike. I've gotten it for the school. Listen, talking about the school, I've gotten it. I've gotten plenty of strikes talking about the school. Trust and believe me. When I first started, I had to learn how to deal with the strikes they were giving me, because I was coming at the school district heavy as shit. And I was getting views. And a lot of people was giving me lashback. It was mostly people working for the system, or like government. I would say teachers. I don't know what the fuck they were, but I did get a lot of lashback for that. But I didn't give up. I had to take a break because people was mixing up so much shit with my personal life, the school, like everything that was going on, because I was doing reaction videos on Hassan Campbell. When I did the reaction videos on Hassan Campbell, when I tell you that my lashback was, I went through hell. I really went through hell, because fighting him, the strikes from him was not easy. Like, that shit is crazy. Yeah, like we have to, like, I feel as though we have to start boycotting. We have to come together. And if we don't boycott, come together, take their funds for a minute, and let them see that without us, there's no government, because we are the people, we're not going to accomplish nothing. And that's how I feel. That's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, because it's kind of like I got tired. I felt like I had to beg. These are not just my kids. They're y'all kids too. We have to come together. I'm fighting by myself. A lady stood up and she wanted to be anonymous when I did this meeting, and I spoke up. And she wanted to be anonymous because she was stuck in between a nail and a wall. She was a social worker and a teacher. She worked for the system. But the fucked up part about it is, listen, if your child is raped, fuck the system. I'm sorry to say it like that. Not judging her. I can't knock nobody down for how they feel and what they think. But we have to get over that fear. That's what's holding us back. The urban community, whether you're a Black or a Hispanic, and for y'all Hispanics, learn y'all roots before y'all keep talking shit. And I'm tired of the battle of the Hispanics and the Blacks. Us women need to really come together. The real meaning of sisterhood, nobody really even knows it. And the reason why I say it is because us as women, we turn on each other so fast that it's not even a joke. At least the men, they'll fucking fight it out, talk it out, and then later on, listen, they'll figure it out, whether they're going to keep talking or not talking, but they'll leave it at there. Either make up or not make up. All right, bro, that's it. Listen, all right, fuck it. Let's leave it there. I won't talk to you. You won't talk to me. Men do it like that. There's some bitch ass niggas out here, yes, they want to be females. I understand where I know where a lot of people are going to come from with that. But at the end of the day, us females are too divided. We're fighting each other for all the wrong reasons. And a lot of this stuff, 95% of the stuff that these us females are divided for is very petty. Get mad at me. I don't give a fuck. But it's the truth. We're divided for the pettiest shit. And we should be together. There's no more queens raising our youth. Then the few that are left are getting picked on and put down and dragged. Why? And if it's not by a woman, it's by a man. And that right there, I can't even make it make sense. Why talk about each other when we should be teaching our young women how to better themselves and prosper in life? How to take care of themselves, how to become young women. We're teaching them how to be ratchet. We're telling them it's okay to go twerk. It's okay to, smack a nigga and try to get away with it. No, it's not. We need to get our priorities on check. Let me check the messages. My bad. The only way to make away their funds is to remove your child from their Okay, let's come up here. The only way to take away their funds is to remove your child from their indoctrination. Okay. I was reading it all messed up. System. They get a bag for each child sitting in those desks, just like they get a bag for each prisoner in jail. Facts. And before y'all even say, oh, Letitia tripping, go do y'all research. Listen, I be telling y'all, learn y'all history before y'all end up in a ditch making history. Knowledge is only power when it's put to use. Period. Facts, facts, facts. You got principals fudging their numbers in order to get their school funds. Facts, facts, facts. Where the school funds going to? They say the school systems, but at the end of the day, it's really our prisons. Listen to Michael Jordan. There's a whole interview. He kind of like confessed that shit, then cried. My husband works for the school. My husband works for the school district. The stories I hear are out to disturbing. Facts. Listen, I went face to face with the dean of the school district, and he wanted to make me think like he didn't have no parts of it. You do, because you tell these motherfuckers what the fuck to do. And I'm sorry to say it like that. You tell them what to do. You're telling me that you're the head honcho and you don't know what the hell is going on in your district because it's divided by districts and each person is in charge of one. But you're in charge of the district that is involving my child. Make it make sense. So I believe what Letitia is saying. And trust me, there's some good teachers out there. There's some good principals. But guess what? The bad ones outweigh the good ones. That's the messed up part about it. And Miss April was right. A lot of us come together, but it's like, what the fuck? How can we outfight the ones that are already brainwashed? Because the ones that already know what's going on don't want to get the fuck up and they're too scared to fight back. We're not saying let's protest. We're not saying let's riot. We're saying let's boycott. You take away their funds before they take away our sons. Let me see if I got the video right here. Let me pause this right here real quick. I'm going to have to open it. No, it's on downloads probably because I have to re-upload it on this channel. Let's see. I have to look for The Queen Has Spoken. Here we go.
Giving, that's how we live it. Don't be
all right. Let me get back to the StreamYard and show y'all this video real quick.
Add up the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays. Who the fuck wants to be?
The last time we saw you at a big award show in this town, you made quite a statement about Colin Kaepernick. Now he has settled this lawsuit with NFL. How do you feel about things right now?
Yes, honey, let me tell you something. Law is law. You cannot tell people they cannot have freedom of speech. If you take a knee, look, our ancestors took 2 knees in the cotton field. No knees on the bowels of the ship. You know, tell us we can't take 1 knee. Now, this is what I wish had happened. This is if those football players and all those sportsmen and sportswomen, see, if you all take a knee for the next generation, they can't fire you all. See, has anybody not thought of that? That while somebody's singing the anthem, you all go down on 2 knees, make a statement. They are the gladiators of our time. If they don't save this nation, who will and who can? See, you take away their fun
before they take away
shoot your son. We think we're protected and we live in this bubble. Oh no, baby. Drugs are legal now. Everybody's high. But what's going to happen when somebody...
Let's take it back. Let's take it back.
They're fun. Make a statement. They are the gladiators of our time. If they don't save this nation, who will and who can? See, you take away their fun before they shoot your son. See, we think we're protected and we live in this bubble. Oh no, baby. Drugs are legal now. Everybody's high. But what's going to happen when somebody runs into a truckload of children? Then everybody will calm down. See? So I say to all the NFL, the NBA, with the kind of money you make, you have no reason to be afraid. If you all go down on your knees at the same time, they can't fire you all. And once again,
Facts. And nobody understood her when she was saying this. A lot of people were saying that she was taking sides. No, she wasn't. Preach, queen, preach. We need more women like you. Preach.
take away their fun before they shoot your son.
The queen has spoken. I don't gotta say nothing after that because everything that she has said is nothing but facts. Think outside the box. Everybody always thinks so negative. If we all come together and do what we gotta do the right way, can't none of them do nothing. Listen to what she says. Ain't nothing but wise words coming out her mouth.
What you giving, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business. Not because they want to do it, just because they heard it pays. Who the fuck wants to be?
Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Like, yo, she spoke nothing but facts and people get mad. Miss April, yeah, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna check out the meetings because I know I gotta do it online here in Philly. And I think they be Zoom meetings here in Philly. They've been doing what the hell? My cat don't want to go on. I think they be doing Zoom meetings here when it comes to the board meetings. I don't think they have them yet to be like opened up to the public the way they used to. But yeah, I'm gonna look up online to see when is the Philly school meeting, and I will probably attend that one. So I'm gonna see when is the next upcoming Philly meeting. I have to look it up. I gotta sit down and take a minute and do it. Because when I tell y'all that I'm really caught up between training, getting certified, taking my GED, and then getting ready for this trade. Because all I need to do is just take the test. But this math got me stuck, man. I'm not good at math. And if you don't pass the math test, you don't pass the GD. Hold on 1 second, guys. You painting, baby? All right, I'll be right there. Give me 1 second. Show me your painting when you're done, all right? I can't see them. Oh, the light. All right, let me take this off real quick. That's what you was trying to tell me. I'm so sorry, baby. I should have listened a little better. All right. But yeah, I am going to do it. Letitia says, men are way more logical than females. That is one reason I deal with men over women. And that's a fact. Like, if y'all haven't checked out my video that I did, a live, I have an upcoming live. And it says it is for women and men. And I'm hoping to see y'all, on the panel, on the chat, doesn't matter where. But I would love to get y'all opinions and y'all perspectives. Because on this live, it says, I want to know, women, can y'all, women, can y'all trust women? Can y'all trust other women? Like, I'm about to read y'all. Then let me go to my channel real quick. I forgot how I put it down. I wrote it down. I'm tripping. Yeah, right. All right. As women, do you trust other women? As a man, can you trust? Why are women so divided? So that is going to be an open panel, and I would love to see y'all there. I'm about to get back on the video. I'm just checking on the comments real quick. Collectively, we make way too many excuses to take our children out of their schools. It takes 1 hour a day to do homeschool. My son, to do 1 hour a day to homeschool my son. It can be done any day of the week, any time of the day. Well, that's a different homeschool. Wait, Letitia, can I get the name of that homeschool? Because my son has to be from 8 in the morning to all the way to 4:30 in the afternoon in his homeschool. Damn, I like that homeschool. She said 1 hour. I have to really be there because I'm his coach. That's crazy. Yo, and it's from Monday to Friday. I like that. I need the name. If you got a link, can you leave it right there? I don't know if anybody in Philadelphia can use it or anywhere in any other state, but can I see the link? That's a good idea. I didn't know that. See, it's good. See, each one teach one. It's good when we do podcasts like this and we all talk to each other, respect each other. Look at how much information can be put out there that a lot of people may not even know. I didn't know there was another way that you could do homeschool. Real shit. But we like our 8-hour freedoms from our own babies instead. That's crazy because my son goes to school 8 hours and I don't have no freedom. Can I get the same type of freedom? Shit. I don't know how many posts I see about how parents collectively can't wait for their babies to go back to that colonizer indoctrination. Racheal, you know how to say the word babysitter system. And that's a fact. I've made videos on that. Like, I don't understand what crosses through a woman's head when she's like, oh my God, I can't wait for school to start. Like, why? Listen, if we're not doing nothing, what's the problem with you sitting with your child 8 hours a day? Well, I got to do 8 hours. Because if I'm not coaching, I have to do something. Godfather got to step in. So, yeah. I like Letitia's homeschool. I want to see if I can get it. Real shit. I know she's right because I know that let me ask you a question. That's private, ain't it? Private homeschooling where you teach, you're the teacher, and you do the curriculum and all that. I'm just curious. Because I know there's another way other than the one that I got where the teacher teaches and I'm the coach. And if I'm not there, he has to have another coach. So his is from 8 to 4:30. I like her homeschool, yo. Letitia, my parents was very upset with me yesterday because the right before I tried to stay up post 11 p.m. UK time to watch a YouTube live stream. Oh snap! They're not wrong, young Rias. Like even me, like even if you're not there, I know why you're not there. Like, listen, we all got a real life outside of YouTube. Real shit. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how folks can't stand to be around their own babies. I ask myself that question. It's like, do you hate your baby? Why bring it into this world? Letitia, I do online Islamic lessons. So true. Is it more easier for me to share stuff with women because I am a very soft guy? You probably feel a little more comfortable with a woman than a man, young Rios. It's like my son. He feels comfortable with a lot of women because he's comfortable with me. He has more of a bond with me as his mom than anybody else. And he's not soft. So and you and him got that one thing in common. He's comfortable with other women talking than what he is with other men. I think it's a man thing because it's not the first time I've heard a man say that. They feel comfortable talking with certain women, certain things than what they do with other men. Racheal, I've homeschooled with my own curriculum, Racheal. Every state is different. Yeah, okay. No, we have it too. I just didn't know that you could do it for an hour. I thought that, since I saw when I first started, it was with the teachers introducing me, the principal and all that stuff. And then they told me how many hours. They talked a little bit about the private one where I, picked the curriculums and all that. But I thought it was going to be like an 8-hour thing. I'm like, how am I going to work? How am I going to do this if I have to be, I don't know how to do this. Like, and then I don't know shit about math. Like, I know math. I'm not going to make myself look stupid or dumb. My thing is I have problems I hate division. Like, I got to the point where I hated division because I don't understand division. To me, it makes no sense. But I understand algebra. Ain't that some shit? I understand algebra, but not division. It's the division part for me. Like, I hate it. And even the parts of algebra that got division, I don't like it because it makes no sense to me. Y'all want to sit here and confuse a bitch with all these numbers. Damn, I said, Rachel, you want to sit here and confuse a shorty with all these numbers. Yeah, I like that. Damn, I didn't know it was like that. I'm about to consider it, yo, for real, for real. If you are using a program, you will have time Constraints based on their program. Okay. I didn't know. No, it's actual teachers behind the screen. And I get books, laptops, everything sent to me on the homeschool. It's called Agora Cyber Charter School. And it's online and they got it worldwide. It's nationwide. If you are using a program, you will have time constraints based on their program. Letitia, interesting. Yeah, what Letitia just said is interesting because they did not. I'm gonna be very honest. When they were explaining about me picking the curriculums to teach them, they didn't say what Letitia is explaining to me right now. They explain it in a whole different way, which may be like, oh shit, now I'm gonna be confused and I don't want to teach my son something wrong. Yo, I'm really considering switching now. Instead of just homeschooling with the teacher behind the screen and the coach, I'm going to be the teacher. It's not a bad idea. I didn't think about it like that because it wasn't explained to me the way she just did it. Rachel, what I heard from you today and the passion in your voice, you needed to be fighting at the school district. I'm gonna go. Trust me, and I'm gonna upload when I go. And if it's online virtual, then I do a live with the virtual. If I'm able to, yeah, I should be able to do it. Everyone have a great day. Letitia and Riaz. Rachel, your voice is needed. Thank you, Miss April Showers. I hope you have a blessed and humble day. I hope you continue to have a blessed and humble day. I hope you enjoy your day and your day goes well. And thank you for stopping by and showing a shorty support. Math was my worst subject. It's always, listen, I don't like math. When Kai gets older, I might put him into the online homeschooling program. He will need to know how to use a laptop. Okay. I just learned something real new. All right, let's get back on topics. I just caught up with all the messages in the chat. Now let's look at the video and let's hear what they got to say. Let's get back on topic.
So I would hope that you would endorse that idea. I recognize you're not lawyers. You don't. You're not in the business of litigating, but I'm hoping that you would support that idea. I see nodding heads for the record. Let me turn to also to recap the very important comments that you all have made about elections, to take action against deep fakes, against impersonation, whether it's by labeling or watermarks, some kind of disclosure without censorship. We don't want a ministry of truth. We want to preserve civil rights and liberties. The free speech rights are fundamental to our democracy. But the kinds of manipulation that can take place in an election, including interfering with vote counts, misdirection to election officials about what's happening, presents a very dangerous specter. Superhuman AI. Superhuman AI. I think all of you agree we're not decades away. We're perhaps just a couple of years away. And you describe it, well, all of you do, in terms of the biologic effects, the development of viruses, pandemics, toxic chemicals. But superhuman AI evokes for me artificial intelligence that could, on its own, develop a pandemic virus. On its own, decide Joe Biden shouldn't be our next president. On its own, decide that the water supply of Washington, D.C. should be contaminated with some kind of chemical and have the knowledge to do it through public utility system.
What happened?
And I think that argues for the urgency, and these are not sort of science fiction anymore.
My bad, Letitia. I had the mic on mute. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, but see, a lot of people forget that I fought the school district. I won the lawsuit against them, and they be giving me the go around. Like they mad at me. They're not just mad at me. They mad at any parent that had took them to court and fought them and won a case against them. Like they really pissed at me. Like ever since I began to go around with them, like they tell me this, they tell me that. Like they can't make up their mind. So I tell everybody, I'm like, yo, they get pissed off at me. Like I've been trying to get my son's working papers for the last couple of months. It's to the point where I have to do it to where I'm getting certified. It's a place called CareerLink, and I'm getting certified there for a couple things. So they're gonna get my son's working papers, and they're gonna train him to go to work. He's 13, going on 14. So it's to the point where I'm doing it with them because the school system just gives me the fucking go around. You see this? You see this face right here? Hold on. Y'all see this face right here? Yeah, I fought them. Yeah. I challenged them. Yeah, I went against them. And they mad as shit at me. And guess what? I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep talking. I'm not going to shut the fuck up like they wanted me to. They told me to tell my son to give up his rights. And guess what? No, I fought as a mother should fight for her son. I'm not going to give up my son's rights. No. For what? For y'all to put him in the system and his life is over there? No, I still got rights over my son. That's my child. I gave birth to him. And I'm fighting. I'm fighting for a better future for him. But y'all parents out there, don't be scared. That's why I keep saying it. Stand up. If you are in the right, you can stand up. I know I was in the right. They did my son dirty. And then they try to play me. Fuck no, I wasn't sitting down and taking that one. No. I apologize. Go sit down. See? Rachel! I'm here cursing. You see that? I just noticed that she was there. Bye. It's kids. Kids will be kids. I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't have no ones on me. That's my wallet. Don't judge. I'm going to give you $1 for cursing. I'm so sorry. But anyways, bye. Anyways, we shouldn't be afraid. We need to stand up for our kids. And especially if you're in the right. Like, come on, man. Our kids are losing their lives through suicide or because somebody's taking them. They're getting sexually molested in schools and much more. And it's crazy that the adults that are supposed to be here protecting our kids are a part of it too. So shout out to all them teachers out there that by any means necessary, they don't care about a check. They out here. They're educating our kids and helping our kids reach whatever goal they have to reach and be a better person and have a better future. But that's my opinion. I'm not ever going to give up. But yeah, the school system is kind of mad at it, shorty. So for those of you that don't know, the school system's mad at me. And listen, there's nothing I could do about that. So instead of me getting pissed off at them because they're giving me the go around and sending me here, sending me there, doing this, doing that. Listen, it took me months me going from school to school because they're saying, oh, you don't get it here. You got to go over here. You got to go over there to get his. He's online. He's going to school at a charter school online. They send me to y'all. Now y'all sending me here. Y'all sending me there. This school sending me there. I'm done. I got to the point where I said, fuck it. What do I do? Because they fucking with me. Like, what the fuck do I do? So fuck it. If you got pool elsewhere, use that pool. And that's what I do. I use the pool that I got elsewhere. Because sometimes, listen, it may be a slow ride, but you're going to get where you have to get to. Like, use the pool that you got until you're able to do what you got to do. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm using the pool that I got until I get to where I have to be. So I'm trying, though. I'm trying. But I'm trying to do it the right way. Not get pissed off, not get aggravated, not, take it out on somebody because I couldn't do it the way I had to do it or, show or prove the point that I had to prove. So I'm also working on my anger issue still. Like, yeah. And them people, they got a way of pissing you off like this. But yeah, I'm trying. Trust me. I need to get a grade book for Kai so I can have an inventory of what all he's been taught. That way, in the need, if the man comes to my door, I can show them what he's been taught. For now, I have all this work from kindergarten to prove he's been taught at home, and he's just not here chilling. Facts. Oh wait, wait. I just read that, didn't I? Why is it all the way up there? All right, here we go. Letitia, if I had kids in the future, I would rather put them in Islamic school instead. Letitia, or homeschooling is better with a mainstream curriculum. It was muted earlier. Not sure if you were saying something. I was, and I peeped it, and then I fixed it. Rachel, I went to Catholic Main Street Secondary School in from 2006 to 2019. Homeschooling ain't bad. I'm not mad at my child being homeschooled though. Real shit. And that's why I want to start my business at home because it's easier for me to attend them while they're homeschooled. Rachel, my dad had to fight for my entitled support. Hey, cutie pie. Like my shorty, yeah. Which is better, Islamic school or homeschool? I'm not sure. I've never been to Islamic school, so we would have to ask somebody else that's been in Islamic school. Young Riaz, is your decision to make. I'm not a religious person, so I'm biased. Yeah, and would pick homeschooling over a religious school, hun. I understand, Letitia. Facts. Young Riaz, I think a lot of us just I don't know. I believe in God. I feel as though like I feel like the Muslim religion, the Islamic, I'm not sure if it's the same, but I feel like the is it Islamic? I think it is. You know, the people that are Muslims and stuff like that that actually do follow the but I feel as though they're the closest people that how can I say it? Follow their culture, their house, their religion, right? Because I've seen so many religions talk about religion, but they do the complete opposite. So I'm kind of confused because I hear them preach the Bible, I hear them say this, but everybody's been sinning. Like we've had kids out of wedlock, people eat pork, people have sex before getting married, people are still killing, people are, there's moms stealing sons, and daughters, baby daddies, there's dads sleeping with sons' girlfriends, like there's so much incest going on now that it's not even a joke. That it's like Saddam and Gomorrah all over again. And I know I said it a little messed up, but don't judge it, shorty. Like it's just so much. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, y'all say y'all Christians, Catholics, Pentecostals. Y'all say y'all all of this, but it's like as soon as somebody says, "Look, listen, I don't want to be a part of a religion. I just want to learn for right now." Y'all get mad because y'all can't convert somebody, or y'all try to convince somebody that it has to be this way. But the Bible is telling me what you're reading to me is telling me the complete opposite of what you're telling me. So it's completely telling me the opposite. So I feel as though y'all hypocrites. Y'all contradicting yourselves because the Bible is saying one thing, but y'all are saying the complete opposite. So I feel as though like the Muslim way is the closest to people keeping it real to their religion. And if it's true, then they're really close to God. But other than that, I feel as though I gotta believe in God. Nothing more, nothing less. I believe in Him, and I should be good. I feel like I don't know. It's hard to kind of explain because I've been lied to so much when it comes to religion that it's kind of like I just prefer to be me. I believe in God. Like we know He exists. We know that good and evil is there, but at the end of the day, everybody does the complete opposite of what that Bible is saying. Am I going to actually really see people get married and have kids at marriage, through marriage? Are we going to stop seeing people have sex out of, without being married? Are we going to actually wait to have sex to get married? See, can you go over there and let mommy talk, and then when I'm done, I'll let you talk. I'll be right there. All right, give me 1 second, guys. So let's let the video play. So I broke it down the best way that I can, but I feel as though that a lot of people that go through religion are hypocritical, and that's my opinion. I don't know how Letitia feels, but she has her reasons, and a lot of people have their reasons for not believing in a religion. See, like I feel as though that the word of God could be real. It's possible, like it's just that the Bible changes up so much, but it's crazy that we're living the Bible, right? If it's not real, what is in these pages, then what are we living? But that's a topic for another day. And I wouldn't mind having it as long as we have grown folks conversations. Like those are topics that I wouldn't mind having on my podcast. And like I said, it's the podcast, let's talk about it all. It's a topic that I wouldn't mind having without, having people be in their feelings and feeling some type of way. Because a lot of people get offended for some reason when there's no reason for you to get offended because somebody has their own opinion. Real shit. If I don't want to be Catholic, I shouldn't have to feel like you're pressuring me to be Catholic, or I'm not human because I'm not Catholic. If I was, like I told people, I have no religion, but if I was to have a religion, I would be a Muslim. I would kind of be like Islamic, because at the end of the day, it's fucked up, the stories we hear and shit. But they're the only ones that follow their religion to a T. It's just crazy, period. And that could probably be my reason too. I've never really thought about it, but it's something that I'm not religious. I tell people that I believe in God. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Young Riaz, I choose not to be religious. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. God is a man-made construct, and God means creator. So if God means creator, then I am the God of my own universe, and that's a fact. And Young Riaz, you remember when Sophia Stewart was talking about the Matrix, and she explained why she named it the Matrix, and it's in the Bible and all that. It's the womb. The definition of a matrix is the womb, and who has wombs? Women. So what's in the womb? A child. It's like giving birth to something. So if those of y'all that missed the interview with Sophia Store is there, I will be doing another one, but I'm gonna do it on a whole, Sophia Store interview type of thing by itself, not here, not with the robot thing, or I might do it on part 7. All right, my bad. I had to attend my daughter real quick, but yeah, a lot of us is shit. Facts on top. You can't listen. You can't sit here and knock somebody's opinion because of how they feel and what they think is their opinion. So Young Riaz, Letitia, they both make good points. Shit, even I don't have a religion for the reasons that I gave it. But let's get back on topic, guys. I gotta heat up some tortillas for my daughter so that she can eat some tacos. She wants some tacos at 10:40 in the morning. So I'm gonna let this play for 1 second while I heat these tortillas up so she can eat her tacos.
Describe them in your testimony. Others have done it as well. So I think your warning to us has really graphic content, and it ought to give us impetus with that kind of urgency to develop an entity that can not only establish standards and rules, but also research on countermeasures that detect those misdirections, whether they're the result of malign actors or mistakes by AI or malign operation of AI itself. Do you think those countermeasures are within our reach as human beings? And is that a function for an entity like this one to develop?
Yes, I mean, I think this is one of the core things that, whether it's the bio risks from models that, I kind of stated in testimony, are likely to come in 2 to 3 years, or the risks from truly autonomous models, which I think are more than that, but might not be a whole lot more than that. I think this idea of being able to even measure that the risk is there is really the critical thing. If we can't measure, then we can put in place all of these regulatory apparatus, but it'll all be a rubber stamp. And so funding for the measurement apparatus and the enforcement apparatus working in concert is really going to be central here. I mean, our suggestion was NIST and the National AI Research Cloud, which can help kind of allow a wider range of researchers to study these risks and develop countermeasures. So I think that that seems like a very important measure. I'm worried about our ability to do this in time, but we have to try, and we have to put in all the effort that we can.
Mr. Benjo?
Yes, I completely agree. About the timeline, there's a lot of uncertainty. So as I wrote in my testimony, it could be a few years, but it could also be a couple of decades, because research is impossible to predict. But if we follow the trend, it's very concerning. And regulation, liability, they will help a lot. My calculations is, we could reduce the probability of a rogue AI showing up by maybe a factor of 100 if we do the right things in terms of regulation. So it's really worth it. But it's not going to bring those risks to zero, and especially for bad actors that don't follow the rules anyways. So we need that investment in countermeasures, and AI is going to help us with that, but we have to do it carefully so that we don't create the problem that we're trying to solve in the first place. Another aspect of this is it's not just AI. It needs to bring expertise in national security, in bioweapons, chemical weapons, and AI people together. The organizations that are going to do that, in my opinion, shouldn't be for profit. We shouldn't mix the objective of making money, which makes a lot of sense in our economic system, with the objective, which should be single-minded, of defending humanity against a potential rogue AI. Also, I think we should be very careful to do this with our allies in the world and not do it alone. There is, first, we can have a diverse set of approaches, because we don't know how to really do this. We are hoping that as we move forward.
And you could tell that even he is scared. That's crazy. He's scared of the robots coming and taking over.
And we try to solve the problem, we'll find solutions. But we need a diversity of approaches. And we also need some kind of robustness against the possibility that one of the governments involved in this kind of research isn't democratic anymore for some reason, right? This can happen. We don't want a country that was democratic and has power over a superhuman AI to be the only country working on this. We need a resilient system of partners so that if one of them ends up being a bad actor, the others are there.
Thank you very much. I'll turn to Professor Russell if you have a comment.
Yeah, so I completely agree that if there is a body that's set up, that it should be enabled to fund and coordinate this type of research. And I completely agree with the other witnesses that we haven't solved the problem yet. I think there are a number of approaches that are promising. I tend towards approaches that provide mathematical guarantees rather than just a best effort guarantees. And, we've seen that in the nuclear area where originally the standard, I believe, was, you could have a major core accident every 10,000 years. and you had to demonstrate that your system design met that requirement, then it was 1 million years, and now it's 10 million years. And so that's progress. And it comes from actually having a real scientific understanding of the materials, the designs, redundancy, etc. And we are just in the infant stages of a corresponding understanding of the AI systems that we're building. I would also say that no government agency is going to be able to match the resources that are going into the creation of these AI systems. The numbers I've seen are roughly $10 billion a month going into AGI startups. And just for comparison, that's about 10 times the amount of the entire National Science Foundation of the United States, which has to cover physics, chemistry, basic biology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So how do we get that resource flow directed towards safety? I actually believe that the involuntary recall provisions that I mentioned would have that effect. Because if a company puts out a system that violates one of the rules and then is recalled until the company can demonstrate that it will never do that again, then the company can go out of business. So they have a very strong incentive to actually understand how their systems work. And if they can't, to redesign their systems so that they do understand how they work. That just seems like basic common sense to me. I also want to mention on rogue AI, right? The
Facts. But the problem is that common sense isn't common sense no more. And like the mill ticket said on the last live, he said it. What happens when they go rogue? Y'all haven't been able to answer that question. None of y'all have really been able to answer that question. None of them. Not in the committee meeting, not in the Senate hearing. None of them answer the question, what are they going to do when these robots go rogue? And my question is, when they go rogue, is it because somebody makes them go rogue, or is it a malfunction in the system that would make them go rogue? That's one of the biggest questions that I have.
Bad actors. Professor Bengio has mentioned an approach based on AI systems that are developed to try to counteract that possibility. But I also feel that we may end up needing a very different kind of digital ecosystem in general. And what do I mean by that? Right now, to a first approximation, a computer runs any piece of binary code that you load into it. We put layers on top of that say, okay, that looks like a virus, I'm not running that. We actually need to go the other way around. The system should not run any piece of binary code unless it can prove to itself that this is a safe piece of code to run. So it's sort of flipping the notion of permission. And with that approach, I think we could actually have a chance of preventing bad actors from being able to circumvent these controls, because for them to develop their own hardware resources is into the tens or hundreds of billions of dollars. And so that's an approach I would recommend.
I have more questions, but I'm going to turn to Senator Hawley.
Let's talk a little bit about national security and AI, if we could. Mr. Amadei, to come back to you, you mentioned in your written testimony, in your policy recommendations, your first recommendation, in fact, is the United States must secure the AI supply chain. And then you mentioned immediately, as an example of this, chips used for training AI systems. Where are most of the chips made now? I think your microphone, I think maybe. That's okay. Everyone's eager to hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
Yes, what I had in mind here, yes, is that there are certain bottlenecks in the production of AI systems. That ranges from semiconductor manufacturing equipment to chips to the actual produced systems, which then have to be stored on a server somewhere, and in theory could be stolen or released in an uncontrolled way. So I think, compared to some of the more software elements, those are areas where there are substantially more bottlenecks.
Well, so, okay, understood. But we've heard a lot about chips GPUs, about the shortage of them. My question is, and maybe you don't know the answer to this, maybe somebody else does, but do you know where most of them are currently manufactured?
Yeah, there are a number of steps in the production process for chips, right? Do you produce the raw chip or the actual GPU? You know, those happen in a number of places.
For example.
So, you know, an important player on the, you know, kind of like making the base fabrication side would be TSMC, which is in Taiwan, and then within, you know.
Yep, and Young Riaz has been speaking on the censorship, so shout out to Young Riaz. He's been speaking about this way before you even heard it.
Companies like NVIDIA within the United States, you know, then you know, produce those into GPUs, and I don't know exactly where that process happens. It could be in a large number of places.
As part of securing our supply chain here in this area, should we consider limitations, if not outright prohibitions, on components that are manufactured in China?
I think on that particular issue, you know, that's not one where I have a huge amount of knowledge. I mean, I think we should think a little bit in the other direction of, are things that are produced by our supply chain, do they end up in places that we don't want them to be? So we've worried a lot about that in the context of models. We just had a blog post out today about AI models saying, hey, you might have spent a large number of millions of dollars, maybe someday it's going to be billions of dollars, to train an AI system. And then, you know, you don't want some state actor or criminal or rogue organization to then steal that and, you know, use it in some irresponsible way that you don't endorse.
Let me get at this problem from a just slightly different angle, which is, let's imagine a hypothetical in which the communist government of Beijing decides to launch an invasion of Taiwan. And let's imagine, and sadly it doesn't take very much imagination, let's imagine that they're successful in doing so. Just give me a back of the envelope forecast. What might that do to AI production?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I'm not an economist and it's hard to forecast, but a very large fraction of the chips are indeed, you know, somewhere go through the supply chain in Taiwan. So I think there's no doubt that is a hot spot, and, you know, something that we should be concerned about for sure.
Do either of the other panelists want to say anything on this about Professor Russell, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, there are studies. My colleague Orville Schell, who's a China expert, has been working on a study of these issues. There are already plans to diversify away from Taiwan. TSMC is trying to create a plant in the US. Intel is now building some very large plants in the US and in Germany, I believe. So, but it's taking time. I think if the invasion that you mentioned happened tomorrow, we would be in a huge amount of trouble. As far as I understand it, to sabotage the operations in Taiwan if an invasion were to take place. So it's not that all that capacity would then be taken over by China.
What's sad about that scenario is that would be the best case scenario, right? I mean, if there's an invasion of Taiwan, the best we could hope for is maybe all of their capacity or most of it gets sabotaged, and maybe the whole world has to be in the dark for however long. That's the best case scenario. The point I'm trying to make is I think your point, Mr. Amodei, about securing our supply chains is absolutely critical, and thinking very seriously about decoupling efforts, strategic decoupling efforts, I think is absolutely vital at every point of the supply chain that we can. I think we don't do that with China soon. Frankly, we should have done it a long time ago. If we don't do it very, very quickly, I think we're in real trouble, and I think we've got to think seriously about what may happen in the event of a Taiwan invasion. Yeah, go ahead.
Blessings, Lincoln Kisses. Blessings. My bad. I had to step out to the store and get my daughter something to drink. Blessings, blessings. I'm going to just take it back a couple of seconds because I kind of missed it.
Right? I mean, if there's an invasion of Taiwan, the best we could hope for is maybe all of their capacity or most of it gets sabotaged, and maybe the whole world has to be in the dark for however long. That's the best case scenario. The point I'm trying to make is I think your point, Mr. Amodei, about securing our supply chains is absolutely.
All right, let me pause in my bed. So I just got back from the store. I ran out real quick. All right, Lakin Kisser says, I think they playing with fire. Them robot might malfunction, laughing my ass off. Yeah, it's facts. We've been saying it. They playing with a lot of fire. And I was taught that, listen, if you can't take, listen, if you can't get burnt, you can't take the heat, don't play with fire. That's some real shit. All this might backfire, and it's just crazy. Like, and they trying. Like, I know that on part 7 is going to be about a judge rejecting the idea of an artificial intelligence judge being in a courtroom prosecuting inmates. So that's going to be part 7. Like I said, it's going to be a part 7 to this. I just got to do all the other lives. But thank you, everybody, for showing support. Damn, I missed it, so let's play this real quick so I can react to it.
Absolutely critical. And thinking very seriously about decoupling efforts, strategic decoupling efforts, I think is absolutely vital at every point of the supply chain that we can. And I think we don't do that with China soon. But frankly, we should have done it a long time ago. If we don't do it very, very quickly, I think we're in really trouble, and I think we've got to think seriously about what may happen in the event of a Taiwan invasion. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to emphasize Professor Russell's point even more strongly, that we are trying to move some of the chip fab production capabilities to the U.S., but that needs to be faster, right? We're talking about 2 to 3 years for some of these very scary applications, and maybe not much longer than that for truly autonomous AI. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the timelines for moving these production facilities look more like 5 years, 7 years, and we've only started on a small component of them. So just to emphasize this, I think this is absolutely essential.
Yeah, good. Let me ask you about a different issue related to labor overseas and labor exploitation. The Wall Street Journal published a piece today entitled "Cleaning Up ChatGPT Takes Heavy Toll on Human Workers." Contractors in Kenya say they were traumatized by the effort to screen out descriptions of violence and sexual abuse during the run-up to OpenAI's hit chatbot, namely ChatGPT. The article details the widespread use of labor in Kenya to do this training work on the ChatGPT model. I encourage everyone to read it, and I'd like to ask the chairman to be able to enter this into the record.
Without objection.
One of the a couple of disturbing things. I mean, one is that we're talking about 1,000 or more workers outsourced overseas. We're talking about exploitation of those workers. They work round the clock. The material they're exposed to is incredible, and I'm sure extremely damaging, and that constitutes an issue of lawsuits that they're now bringing. Here's another interesting tidbit. The workers on the project were paid an average of between $1.46 an hour and $3.74 an hour. Let me say that again. The workers on the project were paid on average between $1.46 an hour and $3.74 an hour. Now, OpenAI says, oh, we thought that they were being paid over $12 an hour. And so we have the classic corporate outsource maneuver, where a company outsources jobs, couldn't be done in the United States, outsources jobs.
So that leads back to the question that I asked before. I'm not sure if it was on part 2 or part 3. Will robots be taking over people's jobs? Should we be concerned? There's a poll up, guys. If y'all don't mind taking the time to well, where am I at? Okay, if y'all don't mind taking the time to take the poll and let a shorty know what y'all think. Should we take action? Should we wait? Or should we let the government handle it? I want to thank everybody that, has, filled out the poll, voted on the poll and stuff like that, because it does help a shorty out. If you haven't, take a minute. Let a shorty know what y'all think. Leave your comments down below. Because this is crazy. Did I unmute myself this time? Yeah. It's going to be more unemployment. It's going to affect, that's why they're fighting the copyrights and all that. Like, it's going to affect a lot of jobs. But for those of y'all that are stuck at home, sitting down, waiting, talking about, oh my God, we're waiting for the Jetsons era to come. We're in it. We're the Flintstones. And all the rich people and the people coming up with these ideas are the Jetsons. Just a little food for thought. Don't get mad at me. It's just what's out there.
Exploits foreign workers to do it and then says, oh, we don't know anything about it. We're asking them to engage in this psychologically harmful activity. We're probably overworking them doing it, and we're not paying them. But, oops. I guess my question is, how widespread is this in the AI industry? Because it strikes me that we're told that AI is new and it's a whole new kind of industry and it's glittering and it's almost...
He just proved my point there. And I've been saying it. For those of y'all thinking that this is something new, they just been exposing the truth little by little to us. That's the best way that I can say it so that I won't get a strike on here. Like, I hope y'all ready. Is y'all ready? Y'all wanted the Matrix? We've been in the Matrix. But guess who's coming? The Terminators? Morpheus? Back to the Future?
Magical, and yet it looks like it depends in critical respects on very old-fashioned, disgusting, immoral labor exploitation. So go ahead, Mr. Amadei.
Yes, so this is actually one area where Anthropic has a substantially different approach from the one that you've described. I can't speak for what other companies are doing, but a couple points. One is this constitutional AI method, which I mentioned, is a way for one copy of the AI system to moderate or help to train another copy of the AI system. This is something that reduces, it does not eliminate, but it substantially reduces the need for the kind of human labor that you're describing. Second, in our own contracting practices, and I would have to talk to you directly for exact numbers, but I believe that the companies we contract out to are something like northwards of 75% workers from the U.S. and Canada, and all paid above the California minimum wage. So I share your concern about these issues, and we're committed to both developing research that kind of obviates the need.
You are part of this. You want this to happen. You've been making excuse after excuse. You and a lot of the people from the committee meeting, and a lot of people sitting here with you. So shout out to them people that put the pressure on y'all, because if they didn't put this pressure on y'all, a lot of us wouldn't put 2 and 2 together. So shout out, like I said earlier, for all those out there, the analytics and statistics are showing. They're showing them. We're helping them put away pedophiles and predators and groomers and R-word people. Like, I could just keep going down the line. But y'all will catch on to what I'm saying when y'all catch the replay. But it's crazy because she did ask him that tough question. And right now it's something that is affecting our web, our social media. Our kids are easily being lured, are easily targeted more now, like, than ever before, because they're using social media for things that they're not supposed to. Like, make it make sense, yo. Logic don't exist no more. And listen, shit, this shit is crazy.
Need for some of this kind of moderation and not exploiting these workers.
Well, it's good, because here's, I think, what would be terrible to see is this new technology that is built by foreign workers, not American workers. That seems like the same old story we've heard for 30, 40 years in this country, where we're told, oh no, American workers, they cost too much. They're American workers, they're just too demanding. American workers, they don't have the skills, so we're going to outsource it. We're going to give it to other foreign workers. Then you mistreat the foreign workers. Then you don't pay the foreign workers. And then who benefits from it at the end of the day? These few companies that we talked about earlier who make all the profit and control of it. That seems like an old story that I frankly don't want to see replicated again. That seems like a dystopia, not like a new future. So I think it's critical that we find out what the labor practices are of these companies. I'm glad that you're charting a different course, Mr. Amadei, and certainly we want to hold you to that. But I think it's vital that as we continue to look at how this technology is developing, that we actually push for. What's wrong with having a technology that actually employs people in the United States of America and pays them well? I mean, why shouldn't American workers and American families protected by our labor laws benefit from this technology? I don't think that's too much to ask. And frankly, I think that we ought to expect that of companies in this country who are with access to our markets, who are working on this technology. Chairman.
Thank you. I don't think you'll find much disagreement with that proposition, but to have American workers do those jobs, we need to train them, correct? And you all, in some sense, because you're all teachers, you're all professors, are engaged in that enterprise. Mr. Amadeo, I don't know whether you can be called still a professor, but probably not.
I was never a professor.
But we need to train workers to do these jobs. And for those who want to pause, and some of the experts have written that we should pause AI development, I don't think it's going to happen. We right now have a gold rush, literally much like the gold rush that we had in the Wild West, where in fact there are no rules.
That's what I said earlier. Like it's here now. The question is, what should we do? The it's right there on the poll. If y'all wish to, take a vote and let a shorty know what y'all think. Y'all can leave y'all comments in the chat. Let a shorty know. Like, should we take action? Wait to see what the government does? Like, what should we do?
And everybody's trying to get to the gold without very many law enforcers out there preventing the kinds of crimes that can occur. So I am totally in agreement with Senator Hawley in focusing on keeping it in America, made in America when we're talking about AI. And I think he is absolutely right that we need to build those kinds of structures, provide the training and incentives that enable it and enforce it. Let me, though, come back to this issue of national security. Who are our competitors among our adversaries and our allies? Who are closest to the United States in terms of developing AI? Is it China? Are there other adversaries out there that could be rogue nations, not just rogue actors, but rogue nations, and whom we need to bring into some international body of cooperation?
So I think the closest competitor we have is probably the UK.
Oh, shit.
In terms of making advances in basic research, both in academia and in DeepMind in particular, which is based in London.
But I thought the lady said they were behind in artificial intelligence. So who's telling the truth?
Now being merged more forcefully into the larger Google organization. But they have a very distinct approach, and they've created an ecosystem in the UK that's really quite productive. I've spent a fair amount of time in China. I was there a month ago talking to the major institutions that are working on AGI. And my sense is that we have slightly overstated the level of threat that they currently present. They've mostly been building copycat systems that turn out not to be nearly as good as the systems that are coming out from Anthropic and OpenAI.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who do y'all think is more ahead? China or London?
And Google. So, but the intent is definitely there. I mean, they've publicly stated their goal to be the world leader, and they are investing probably larger sums of public money than we are in the US, smaller sums in the private sector. The areas where they are actually most effective, and I was actually on a panel in Tianjin for the top 50 Chinese AI startups, and they were giving out awards. But I think about 40 of those 50, their primary customer was state security.
Damn.
So they're extremely good at voice recognition, face recognition, tracking and recognition of humans based on gait, and similar capabilities that are useful for state security. Other areas like reasoning and so on, planning, they're just not they're not really that close. So they have a pretty good academic sector that they are in the process of ruining by forcing them to meet numerical publication targets and things like that. They don't give people the freedom to think hard about the most important problems, and they are not producing the basic research breakthroughs.
So don't it sound like what y'all trying to do right now? Y'all trying to legalize all this without having the proper research, without doing the proper tests, without this being allegedly called perfected. So basically, y'all just trying to imitate China too.
That we've seen both in the academic and the private sector in the US. I'm also
hard to produce a superhuman thinking machine if you don't allow humans to think.
Yep. I've also looked at a lot at European countries. I'm working with the French government quite a bit, and I don't think anywhere else is in the same league as those three. Russia, in particular, has been completely denuded of its experts and was already well behind.
Mr. Bengio, Professor.
On the allied side, there are a few countries, including Canada, from which I come from, that have really important concentration of talent in AI. And in Canada, we've contributed a lot of the principles behind what we're seeing today. There's also a lot of really good European researchers in the UK and outside the UK. So I think that we would all gain by making sure we work with these countries to develop these countermeasures, as well as the improved understanding of the potentially dangerous scenarios and what methodologies in terms of safety can protect us.
You've advocated decentralized labs.
Yes.
But if China and other countries are doing the same thing, how can y'all prevent? Wouldn't it be better for y'all to be together, talk it out, and figure a solution? Because when they go rogue, all of y'all divided, not on the same, how can I say, not on the same page, it's going to cause more havoc and have more consequences than what it is now that y'all united. So either way, restricting certain countries or doing this and doing that, what's going to change if they're here? The question is, what are we going to do?
But under
a common umbrella that would be multilateral. Maybe this could be a good starting place could be Five Eyes or G7, and that would capture pretty much the bulk of the expertise in these very strong AI systems that could be important here.
And there would probably be some way for our entity, our national oversight body doing licensing and registration to still cooperate. In fact, I would guess that's one of the reasons to have a single entity, to be able to work and collaborate
Yes.
with
So
other countries.
there's no doubt that individual countries have their own national security organizations and are going to do their own laws. But the more we can coordinate on this, the better. Of course, I think some of that research should be classified and not shared with anyone, only trusted parties. So
why should it be classified? We the people should know too what's going on. And if anything, in my opinion, we the people should be a part of these meetings that y'all be having behind our backs, and we don't see it until y'all post them online or y'all live.
there are aspects of what we have to do that have to be really broad at the international level. And I think the guidelines or the maybe mandatory rules for safety should be something we do internationally, like with the UN. We want every country to follow some basic rules, because even if they don't have the technology, some rogue actor, even here in the US, might just go and do it somewhere else. And then, viruses, computer or biological viruses.
Oh, that just proved my point. It just proved my point.